Conversation is energized. The revolution will be televised. The retribution will be to terrorize. And the celebration will leave you mesmerized. Got the stage set, do it big, make a size. You want me believe you? I'm tell some better lies. I'm in the TV room, I'm doing exercise. I let the money flow, so I live a better life. Hey, live a better life. When I step out. But I set the tempo. I got a grip on the day that I let go. Ooh, it's so simple. Don't be so vengeful. Keep up the mystery, keep it suspenseful. Roll with the vets and watch what the vets do. Cause one day they gon' respect you. When I step out. Hey, come on. When I step out. Hey, come on. Hey, what are you about?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VCT NA LCQ.
Keep him back, and Boys gets 3!
Will still allow an opportunity for EG to move in, but Hayes, while stunned, gets another.
Who cares when Valley gets these kills like that?
Oh boy. Utility drop, the swing out as Derek gets cleared out. He spots one, he's got it down to a 1v1. No way! Derek does it again!
Jonas pushing forward through this one. The third kill then onto Shazam. It goes for the 4K!
Oh my God! Shroudy comes out with a 3K!
Gets the kill up the net as well. Backs up the road. Another kill.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NA VCT Last Chance Qualifier. This is it. We determine who is the third and final team that will represent the North American region of champions in Istanbul in just a few short weeks. I'm Golden Boy alongside with Mimi and Cloud9's very own Mel, all here in our Sunday best. Right, you know, Mimi's got the leather jacket on today.
It's pair day.
It's okay, you know, you got the goose necklace. Of course, we also have Mel here ready for business, and I showed up in a pear shirt. So stranger things have happened here.
The duality of man. You either wear is it a Hawaiian shirt or is it just a fruit shirt? I don't know. It's definitely a pear shirt, and then just Borpa business. It's awesome.
Yes, I love it.
Business. People business.
Oh, it's so good. This is going to be an exciting day. We have a lot of matches, or we have one match, excuse me, but it is going to be a BO5. But let's jump into what we're going to be watching here today, because it's the Guard versus 100 Thieves. Two teams that are jockeying for that final spot. And funny enough, two teams that took very similar paths up until this point, literally to a T, almost playing pretty much the same teams to get to this point, Mimi, which is quite fascinating.
Yeah, it has been quite a similar run for both these squads. And I mean, we just saw yesterday 100 Thieves looking so incredibly dominant, stomping out FaZe Clan in a 3-0 victory. The last two maps, FaZe only won 2 gun rounds apiece. This was completely one-sided. FaZe looked flattened, and 100 Thieves looked better than ever.
It looked like a statement game out of 100 Thieves, if we're just being honest. They came in and they were like, we're going to make this not even close.
Yeah, it really did feel like 100 Thieves were playing on just a whole other level. FaZe were just not prepared for it whatsoever. I mean, of course, a huge credit is going to go to Bang and his phenomenal performance. Will, as you see on screen here, just clutching constantly. There's Bang as well, who could not be outdone by Will by any means whatsoever. I mean, 100 Thieves just look like on another level, but they look so prepped and ready to go, which is the scary part that Guard need to be worried about.
Yeah, and I think for FaZe, they fell into a lot of the pitfalls that they did in their game versus Guard. These two series for both our teams in the grand final in beating FaZe had a lot of similarities, right? It was reading into FaZe's tendencies. It was coming in with changed compositions and really cool game plans. I think the preparation element for both these squads left alive in the tournament is insane.
Mm-hmm. And I absolutely cannot be understated. I mean, you look at the Guard, I think you can definitely see the players as well. Shouting out Cooper, new addition to the coaching staff temporarily. I know he's still trying to play, but they have been monumentous. And obviously, we can never forget, you know, Sean Garris and Mike's, and they've done a beautiful job. And we can see that directly as we see both these teams improve throughout the tournament. I think that's a big point, too. We've seen the Guard, they look different than their first match. And they would, you know, they would tell us that as well. They felt like that was almost not really a loss in a sense, but they weren't happy with the win in balance terms, and we could absolutely see that. And 100 Thieves, like we heard Stellar say, like, we finally showed what we feel like we've been working to in this whole boot camp process.
Yeah, and you know what they have been working to is this moment right here, the grand finals, Guard, 100 Thieves. But if you look at the journeys, Mimi, that these two teams took, they pretty much played similar teams they played the same teams. If you go on VLR, you literally see that they played the same squads up until this point, which is just so fascinating. fascinating. And now we're going to get this almost rubber band match here because these squads have faced each other in previous occasions. Maybe not the same rosters, but still, nonetheless, it's interesting to see this like rubber band match, if you will.
Yeah, it is a really interesting one. And I think looking at this one, it does seem like Guard took a much more direct path coming through that upper bracket.
Yeah.
Sure, they beat those teams, but they didn't have that moment where they faltered. 100 Thieves really fell apart in that upper bracket game versus FaZe Clan, but they went down below and they lit that fire under themselves. They came alight and were looking fantastic through the rest of their run to find themselves now here in this best out of 5 grand finals. And what's interesting about the BO5 is it's a big advantage for Guard, right? They come in with the double bans, which I think as of late has seemed a little bit of a curse, right? We think back both stage 1 and stage 2 here in North America. Lower bracket team wins. Reykjavik, lower bracket team wins. Copenhagen, lower bracket team wins.
Do you believe in curses, Mel? Do you believe in superstition?
I believe in curses, but I also believe that you can lift them. And I think 100 Thieves has shown they lift the 9-3 curse, right, against FaZe.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Valen is also, you know, a superstitious individual, as we saw on Twitter just a little while ago, because he actually has a picture of Derek as his wallpaper. And I think he's wondering whether or not he takes it out or risked potentially getting 14 clutches against the Guard here today, because that's how good Derek's been playing, Mimi.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think you got it. You got to keep the Derek wallpaper in place.
Yes.
For sure. I mean, I just think that's iconic. Honestly, I see them tweet and play together a lot, too.
Yeah. So I think that maybe you keep it. Also, perhaps if you're, you know, Stellar's dad, huge shout out to all the parents who, you know, support the kids playing Valorant and playing esports and whatnot. But Stellar's dad wearing the same pants every day. Now, I did want to show you guys the tweet, but Stellar's dad did use some colorful language, so shame on you, okay? Shame on you. I'm kidding, of course. But, you know, let us know. What do you think? Do you believe in some good luck charms, some superstition, if you will? Make sure you sign off on social media, do all the business there. But in any case, though, I wanted to do something fun for this pre-show.
I like fun.
Yeah, I wanted to do something entertaining. Yes. So what I figured what we do here, Mimi, we do a little debate, okay? Rather than talk about, because look, everyone watches this broadcast for the soft hitting analysis that we provide.
I'm watching for the hard hitting analysis.
No, it's soft. It's like a really hard boiled egg, you know, and that not like hard boiled in the way that you may imagine. It's actually more of just like a fleshy meat pod, if you will, kind of like myself. So what I figured we do is do a little debate segment here. You'll take 100 Thieves. And Mel will take Guard, okay? And don't give me any stats. Don't give me any numbers. I don't want to hear any analysis.
I love numbers.
No, numbers are for the birds, all right? What we're going to do here is you're going to give us...
What birds are counting?
I don't know. Maybe it's the goose that's around your neck.
Can geese count?
Maybe. Who knows? Okay, what we're going to do is you're going to take 100 Thieves, and you're going to give me the reason why they're going to win today. I'm going to put 20 seconds on the clock. I think we have a timer somewhere here. We may have been able to make one happen. So Mimi, you're gonna go first. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Start the clock.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
100 Thieves, to start off, they just have better hoodies. They're softer. They sell more. They're better across the board. And on top of that, we got to talk about the cloud factor. They have more clouded coaches. Who's this MCE guy? Sure, he was good back in CSGO, and he was solid here as well. He got his team to Reykjavik, but look at the follower numbers. It's just not quite there. You can't compare to 3 coaches with that much element in there. Wait, what? What?
That's I'm sorry.
Time?
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Now,
at least one more take. I mean, like Austin he has an anime profile picture. Will was wearing short shorts yesterday.
It's okay.
Like that's got to be.
You want to know what?
The lower bracket.
It's fine. And look, Mel's going to do this debate with her mic falling apart from her hands. All right, Mel, you got this. Okay, are you ready? Oh wait. Okay, she was muted because her mic was like a little messed up, but it's fine. Okay, we'll get this sorted out. Don't worry about it.
the argument. This is awesome.
You can't win an argument if Mel doesn't get an opportunity to debate. Okay, just turn Mel's mic on. We'll make it happen. It's okay. Screw it. We'll do it live. All right, Mel, you good? Yes? Yes, you can talk.
All right, I'm getting a call here from headquarters, straight from the Guard revenue shares. Here I have that we have the best graphics in the biz. Undeniable. I have here, Jesus sent his cousin himself in the form of Trent to save North America.
Wow.
And I have more here.
Okay.
10
here
seconds.
I have net turned down every single Ivy League school in the year, or in the entire country, in the entire galaxy, actually, in order to play for guard as well. And Giga Chad.
Time.
Okay, time. Oh, man. And she did that while her headset was falling apart. Okay.
I just got caught up on the coaches. 20 seconds is really
You were
short.
just, you know, and listen, some say that not all segments hit, but I think that one was an absolute banger. In any case, so guys, make sure you get out there on social media. We probably should have given you guys a minute. I think maybe 20 seconds was a little too little. You know?
I can do it again.
No,
I'll do more.
I don't know if we can.
Valen has Derek on the desktop. That's fan behavior.
That is.
We can't let that happen.
Let us know who you think won the debate, but also let us know who you think is going to win today. Make sure you use the poll that's out on the VALORANT NA social channels right now. Okay, vote for the guard, vote for 100 Thieves. You can also either vote if you think Mel won the debate with her headset falling apart, or if Mimi won the debate as she was going a million miles per minute explaining why 100 Thieves we're going to win with all the copium and the hopium in the world on both sides of the debate fence. But anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to be discussing the match in detail with some more hard-hitting analysis. Don't go anywhere.
$13-7 is the scoreline from map number 2, and this is a very different guard that we're looking at.
I mean, they're an upcoming team, and you know, when they were like on the rise, my team kind of fell off, so don't really have much history with them besides, you know, the 13-0, and then we beat them in like our first week 1 of group stage and stage 2.
And it's good enough for Asuna. It's good enough for 100 Thieves. A 13-6 win on Bind.
Yeah, it's nice to see them like in the upper bracket, because I think they're a team that like deserves it.
With 15 seconds left, now trying to get that spike planted down just off onto the edge of it. Jonah P ready and waiting again.
100 Thieves, I mean, they've always been a top team. I think they're very, very good, especially like all 5 players have the potential to pop off and carry a game.
Knife, the flash, and bang. Yet again. Bang with 4.
My boy Derek, he's the clutch master.
He swings off of it, and Derek with 4!
Qualifying for champs would mean a lot to me because it would mean for my first international event, and I think it also means a lot to the org to be able to qualify for champs.
You know, nothing beats international competition. You know, playing from home, playing at boot camps and stuff is fun, but actually, you know, going to, you know, different countries to play the game is just like an indescribable feeling. And especially for champions, we're going to be playing in front of a crowd. That'd be my first time playing in front of like a real crowd in an esport. When we went to Iceland, like even though, you know, we lost, we didn't have the best showing, like taking that experience was just so much fun. You really grinded to be there, and you're like getting the rewards, if that makes sense. And it just feels really good.
Two young, ambitious teams looking to play in front of a crowd for the first time ever. For the guard, it's about righting a wrong in the past. They didn't feel like they performed, obviously, to their potential last time they made it to an international event. And on the flip side to that, for a lot of the players in 100 Thieves, it's a big opportunity for them to be able to represent the region they compete in for the first time ever and do the unthinkable. I'm Golden Boy along with Mimi and Mel. Everything's all sorted out. We're all feeling good and comfy here, and we're going to break break down this matchup between the Guard and 100 Thieves. And first up, let's actually start with the Guard here. Now, obviously, Mel, you were going for the Guard aggressively. There were a lot of great points made, but I'm going to pivot over to Mimi here to break it down, kind of balance it out a little bit, you know. So let's actually talk about this Guard team, Mimi, who, you know, they have had some hard times, but it feels like they are back and they are better than ever. And those are the words we heard from Valen himself.
Yeah, it certainly feels like they are back in peak form and beyond that, as he said. But I think what's most interesting about this matchup is that it is kind of a duel of two teams that took a very similar approach to how they built their rosters and how they made things happen. These are the two teams in North America that dedicated themselves to finding unknown talent, to finding players in the Tier 2 scene and elevating them with experienced coaching staff to make something happen. It was a long road to get here. Both these teams had shakier starts. They had their rough moments, but now they've finally seen that payoff. Only one player in the server today was a Tier 1 pro in another game. Everyone else is homegrown Valorant talent that came up to the level of play in this game with these teams. And that's what makes this matchup so cool, because it means no matter who wins, the third representative for North America at Champions is one of those teams that put the emphasis on building up North America and building up these young and amazing individual players.
Yeah, and that has been the best part about this lineup. We actually talked to Valen previously, you know, about this matchup, just about their performances in general in a previous post-match interview. Let's actually go ahead and take a listen to that and hear his words regarding today.
I wouldn't say the Guard is back, and I'll tell you why. I think we're past our old form. People are saying, oh, we got to get back in stage 1 form, whatever. We're past that. We're on new heights right now. So I'm not even looking back and trying to fix all that. Like, we're on new heights, and you guys better come prepared, or else it's going to be another same result.
Really looking, like in the words of Stellar, in their boot camp form, what they've been prepped and what they've shown in scrims is finally coming out, and we're starting to see that. And we speak of like new players. You look at 100 Thieves, it's not like these guys are experienced as much as either. Like, you look at them, none of them have really made an international stage except for Asuna. So they're all super hungry, and they're all like really an investment from the org and from the team and from the coaches to really make these the best players they can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of a similar story for the Guard, where we heard in that kind of that interview off the rip that for Valen, right, Iceland for them was about experience. It was about getting the team comfortable on land. They've stuck by this roster. They've had the hard times, and they have come back way better. I think that's what makes great teams, when you can have that flash of brilliance and can be great, but then can take a fall from glory and be able to rally back. It's like the cringe sports thing that everyone says, but it's not about the setback. It's about the comeback, and that was what Guard did here in the LCQ. They are back. They are looking better than their form has ever been before.
I didn't know that was like considered cringe, you know?
A lot of things are cringe that you don't know about.
I guess so. No,
we're learning together.
The more you know. That's why I'm Boomer Boy, not Zoomer Boy. Well, even though I did win the Zoomer Boy poll, so thank you, everyone. But yes, in speaking of, and Mel, I'm actually really glad you talked about 100 Thieves, because the parallels of these two teams are very apparent. But for the Guard in particular, like their style, right? Like the way that they have grown as a team, the way that they've evolved. Every player plays a key role on this squad. That, you know, you really feel the impact of them. We saw it in all the matches that took place. The Guard have really fortified who they are as a unit.
And it's like I said before, it's about those multiple win conditions. They're a team that relies on 1 or 2 players to pop off every match and setting them up. Everyone on this team can step up to the plate and make something happen in a round.
Yeah, and the ideas they showed versus FaZe were impeccable. Look at that setup. Sees nade into not a lobby, but out towards mid instead. The operator peeks off of that. These ideas for Guard are excellent, and their mid rounds on top of that are great. They get that early advantage. They fully reset in this round, are super comfortable in playing back, dedicating themselves to this retake. They are a far more disciplined team than what we have seen in the past, and the strategies have come to a new level. They brought in a new assistant coach coming into this. You already talked about him, Mel. Cupert bringing new ideas. MCE continuing with those ideas from iterations of yore, but it has just looked so good. This Guard squad has looked incredibly clean, and I think that FaZe match was the best example. The preparation really showed through.
And I feel like at this point, Guard's got to be like, man, we're tired of people doubting us, because you think back to the Sentinels game, they obviously had a bunch of people rooting against them with the Sentinels fan, and then C9, people still had their reservations, and then they just keep taking scalps, and they're being like, come on, guys, like, look at us now, like, we're going to be at top, like, whether you want to see us there or not, and we're going to prove you wrong. And I think they're coming to this super hungry and and really want to keep proving everyone like, hey, yo, like we're here to come back to the international. And we're here to actually make a statement if we get there.
Yeah, and I think in previous times this team was good, but we never really thought of them as like the big like meta innovator. I think they're pushing towards being one of those teams that can now. This double controller composition on Icebox was awesome. They did such a good job at kind of keeping that smoke cycle up, playing the retakes with that Brimstone. Again, the depth that has been added into this roster just within the LCQ has been so incredibly impressive to watch.
Very true. But then, you know, on the other side of the field, you have 100 Thieves, and we saw them yesterday, and it's very unfortunate that phase were the folly for both of these squads for us to really break down how these teams have evolved, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. This 100 Thieves roster, Mel, as you were talking about before, right, the parallels between these two squads, the ways that they have grown, you know, opposites of one another, but yet now they find themselves on a collision course. Let's talk about their style now, because we've been, I don't want to say critical, but we have been very analytical about what they've been doing, right? Strong preparation, strong protocols. Late game's very good. Mid game was kind of rocky, but we saw those improvements in the phase matchup.
And I think that's just going to continue on this upward trajectory. And the same thing with Guard, like you said, it really just feels like two parallel lines finally in that perpendicular course.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just all here for it. And especially if these two teams, kind of like I was talking about earlier, 100 Thieves is also a team that just does not rely on a single win condition. There's multiple, and you can clearly see, even like in Bang, like one of the youngest players, he's very cerebral, very smart, and they have a very methodical way of playing, very structured, but it's also very strong at the same time. They have the fragging to back it up.
Yeah, and I think this round was really cool in particular in the way that 100 Thieves were playing, because it shows not only their preparation, right? It's a read against how this Phoenix is going to play with the ult. You put Bang up in that kind of top corner there, and no one's actually going to clear him on out. And then you see, even later in this round here, it's the structure in the mid round, which I think was something that was lacking for a while with 100 Thieves. They sometimes struggled in those late games with that adaptation, but that is fixed, and I give a lot of that credit to Stellar here. Will completely disengages. No one overheats. They double back. They play as a team here, and it means that in the end, they have a pretty easy round to clean up against Flya. 100 Thieves has made these iterations, and I think the reason that that is so impressive isn't just that they can come back in and make those changes, it's how quickly they do it. This isn't challengers. This isn't you have a week off to prep. They have played every single day of the second week of LCQ, and they have looked better every single time.
I actually really like that point, and you know, since we have a professional player here to talk about, you know, the different structures of competitions, right? Because challengers, you got a week to prep for your match. You have plenty of time. But let's talk about this type of format, the bracket format, and how grueling that is for the preparation.
Oh yeah, it depends if you're coming, you know, down from the upper bracket or if you've been in lower bracket for a while. But especially if you come down immediately from the upper bracket, you spend that entire night prepping. Everyone's getting together as a team, and you're like, guys, like, we gotta fix this. We gotta fix something. We need to make something work. When you've been in the lower bracket for a while, it's just a matter of like playing out those matches and making sure you have energy. But every day you kind of get into like a routine, and you kind of get that momentum with every game that you win in the lower bracket, that you get the momentum going forward in your preparation, and you start to feel more and more confident as you go on. And I think that helps because, like I said, it kind of becomes like a day-to-day routine. It's like, okay, guys, here we are, winning our match. All right, afterwards we do our prep for the next team. All right, wake up tomorrow. Okay, we gotta warm up scrim. We win our match. All right, now we prep for the next team. It kind of helps when you have that.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
And it can be brutal as well. And I think it's kind of what differentiates the good teams from the great ones. You look at our winners of the last Masters in FPX, they played pretty much every single day, and they made the improvements. 100 Thieves is showing me some of that same greatness.
Yeah, and it also, it contributes so much when you have players that are high impact as well, right? That are able to you know, roll with the punches. And the players that I wanted to put a particular focus on here is Trent and Derek, the initiators for these teams. I mean, Derek's impact, Mimi, cannot be understated in this competition. He is the most clutch player that I have ever laid my eyes on, and Trent, I mean, the boy's just got a hair that he's got hair, you know, and I can never, I'm always a sucker for some good hair, but he's so good at the game as well.
He's got good hair, and he has got good impact within the server. Okay, we're moving on from the hair. We're moving back into the realm of Valorant here, because for these two guys, I think they're the two best initiator players we have in this event, and they're both jockeying for one of those top spots in North America. For Trent, it was the fall off. He kind of disappeared in stage 2. Now he is back, and it is not only the championship form he had in stage 1, but it is better than that. And you already talked about Derek. This is the clutch guy. He is a world-class clutcher.
And if you look back to stage 1, I think it's really cool seeing him here again and seeing Guard here again too, because it's not like it was like a one-off or it was a miracle run, you know, like in the stage 1. It's more like this is something that is consistent, something that can be happened and done and again and again. And Trent, I'm just super excited to see how these two get value against each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a clash of titans here in the last chance Champions qualifier. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to dive in to the map picks and bans, agent select, all that good stuff. Still lots more to discuss, and the matchups coming up in just a little bit. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you as always on the other side.
Red Bull Campus Clutch is back. Assemble your team and lead it to the World Final. Learn more on RedBullCampusClutch.com. All right, folks, we're back. We're getting ready for the match. 100 Thieves versus Guard. Winner will move on to represent North America, the last spot for Champions in Istanbul in just a few short weeks. Here we go. It's now time for the map picks and bans. And remember, Guard are going to have the 2-ban advantage. So far, it has been a curse. We'll see, Mimi, if it plays out this time in their advantage. I'm sure it's probably sticking in the back of their mind somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's a blessing or a curse. We'll see where they head with their bans. Breeze has gotten rid of first. I'm glad they do this. It's been a great map for 100 Thieves. Their Cypher play there has been impeccable. It's been one they've been willing to play, but still glad they get rid of it. Fine goes out too. That is another one of 100 Thieves' absolute best maps. They're using these to target what 100 Thieves is good at, and I love to see that.
And I was about to say the Icebox pick coming from the Guard is going to be really interesting because we did see 100 Thieves start their match versus FaZe yesterday with Icebox, and although they still won the map, it was a little shaky 13-10 by the end of it.
Yeah, still, that double controller composition just looked so good out of Guard, so glad to see them go back to it. Fracture, though, got through the ban stage, so 100 Thieves gets that. They've shown us a couple different looks with the Neon, with the Rays. They've had a few different ideas, but they want to head back to it. For Guard, this isn't a map that they've really played a ton of, but yeah, Guard kind of struggling on the attack in that regard. Haven comes through as our third map.
And for Haven, that's going to be really interesting because the Guard has previously played FaZe already, who runs the same comp as 100 Thieves, and generally speaking, it's a very similar game plan with that comp. You're going to be wanting to abuse B hits if you can, and then have strong side execs as long as you can get that main control. And then 100 Thieves pick Ascent, similar to how they did yesterday, and we have Split as the decider.
Yeah, 100 Thieves do come out with that pick. It has been, I think, their most improved map of this tournament thus far. We get Split coming in as a decider. We still haven't seen that map.
It would be great to see it.
And what a poetic way to end the LCQ. The last tournament this year with Split involved in the map pool to end there on map 5 would be so, so cool. But overall, looking at this pool, I think this is exactly how Guard expected it to go. Coming in with the 2 bans, they get rid of 100 Thieves' 2 best maps, and they get a super advantageous start with that Icebox.
I think anyone could have looked at this on paper, and yeah, I think that this is more or less where we would have ended up here. I know Agent Select's going to be coming up in a moment. First map will be Icebox, in case you guys just missed the map picks and bans. Here we go, though. Let's see what we end up getting. Do we get any trickery? Do we get anything different? I don't really foresee that happening. I would really like to see the Brim come back, you know, that double controller that Guard did. I think that would be really good here.
And it does look like they're heading back into that composition. Jonah already locking the Brim. We've already kind of talked about how good this composition was for them.
And honestly, I really like seeing Valon on the KO as well. I know he's talked about it, like, hey, my KO goes hard, but it's really interesting to actually see it in action
His
again.
KO does go hard. It's
It
actually
does.
pretty
It
good.
does. As a controller main, it's honestly pretty seamless how he looks on the KO.
Yeah.
Well, Guard do get the attacking sided start here. Their post plants are going to be super potent with both the Brim, Viper, and KO in play, and their executes are going to be nice when you bring the Fade into the mix. I think the biggest issue with this composition is that you forego the Sova. So if Will can get on a roll, get that op up early on the chamber, it's a little harder to clear him out with that Fade utility and with the KO utility versus just being able to drone through with that Sova. So I'm looking for him to step up. He's had some inconsistencies throughout this tournament, but in that game versus FaZe, he was excellent.
All right, we're going to do map by map again. Predictions, Mel, go.
Guard.
Guard winning Icebox.
Guard.
Guard winning Icebox. The desk is unified. Let's see if it comes to fruition. Let's get ready to send it over to our casters. It's the bald eagle and the majestic moustache of Bren and Sideshow. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy and the Analyst Desk crew. Yeah, a little bit zoomed in there for a moment, but listen, we're back to normal. We're back to normal. Trust here for the grand finals of the Last Chance Qualifier in North America. Two of our youngest teams in the tournament battling for that winner's spot, the right to represent North America in Istanbul. And at the end of the day, second place is not good enough. Not here, not right now.
There will only be one team coming out of this tournament, and for the second place, you'll fade into the annals of time. Nobody. I mean,
that is dark.
I mean,
that is dark.
Do you remember who placed second at LCQ last year? Maybe a hint of it. Derek was on the squad, but that was the end of the year for Rise at that point. And it's going to be potentially the end of the year for one of these two teams, the other with a chance at redemption or glory. And I love that we're starting here on Icebox with such an interesting clash of compositions.
Yeah, you've seen these teams, their own spin and takes on how the map should be played. The damage being exchanged, a flash into the back to try and take some deep control of this one. The guard not messing around, but look at the counter spam. Just lines it up, sending bullets right into danger, and already 2 kills going their way. Valent's so low, trying to stick the spike down. Let me get away with this one, but it's the guard with an 100 Thieves, I should say, easy cleanup.
And a Prime Gaming Flawless to start things out as well. Not a single player going down, and honestly, not a single player even in danger of it from 100 Thieves. And Bang starts how he finished off FaZe as well. Bang had an absolutely electric series against FaZe and picks up a 3K in the pistol round. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of this, the mind games happening with these B plants.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the way that the guard play, I think their defense side looks really cool with this composition. Their post-plant play looks really cool as well. But it's actually getting the spike down. That's where 100 Thieves can start to disrupt things, I think. And we're going to get the guard with a force buy heading into round 2.
Now, opting into this one, obviously. The extra money coming from that spike plan means they can buy into this one.
Will's going to take the push down mid here.
Oh, flash to try and clear through, support it, supplement it. The angles, it's not quite finding the timing.
Yeah, and Will not particularly confident taking the duel against Net, maybe concerned because he heard the Spectre ring out. And they know that the guard have force.
Yeah. A minute 15 left into it. Wall slowly being chipped down, and the players of the guard going to work their way onto the site. They've gained good positioning here, but a fragment over the top. Valen is in trouble. Being chunked down, very low. Shots rattled off. Its side player wins out the duel on the top of rafters there. C's going to be connecting. Players locked down, unable to really hear much of what's going on, deafened by it. Ned's still holding that up close and personal.
Yeah, Net playing
fire angle.
Net playing such an aggressive position because he doesn't have his snake bites, and it finds value.
Still getting 2 for the players. Swarming onto the side. Trent wants to again follow up on the rest of this damage that's being done. Derek's left alone. 1v3, taps the spike. Rotates the positioning, but Trent's aware.
And Derek has been the clutch god so far in NA LCQ, but you can only ask so much of him. A 1v3 to start with that one out was simply too much to ask for.
Yeah.
And the guard with a great force buy. And also understanding their win conditions so well. You know, pushing away that mid aggression at the start was somewhat trivial for them, but then they immediately pivoted into an A hit. And I thought Will's trademark was going to get good value. Immediately that got broken as well. They were still able to get the plant down despite the fact that Asna threw his fragment grenade. Everything worked there for the guard. And I think 100 Thieves expected them to be playing much more passive post-plant positions as well.
Oh, absolutely. offsetting as well, one of the major advantages that 100 Thieves have coming into this series is the fact that they've been winning a lot of these pistol rounds. If you can't carry forwards that advantage,
absolutely,
then, well, what good is winning the pistol rounds if you lose the next one?
Yep, resets the economy. It doesn't allow you to go for those important bonus rounds. Devastating, getting force bought against and losing. And the guard get another plant down without too much contestation. Of course, only pistols, only classics on the side of 100 Thieves to start. And I think your point about pistols is really important there, Bren, as well. As you're watching 100 Thieves try and get the look around the back, but I don't think Derek's pressure is going to be enough. The pistol rounds have been going fantastically for 100 Thieves in this tournament. It's about the only place in which they look better than the guard on the guard's run.
Yeah. In terms of the statistics.
Yeah, I mean, there are something like 65% on the pistol rounds compared to guard. Guard are just a 500 team when it comes to pistols. You know, they win, they lose.
One enemy remaining.
So it's very important that 100 Thieves get the better end of those and are able to convert. So importantly here as well, because the guard are now taking their, you know, quote-unquote bonus round in round 4, they've had even more time to build up these ults. So there's a Nightfall available and one away from a null command heading in to round 4 here. And I think that could be devastating for 100 Thieves. This is how snowballs happen.
Exactly.
And there could be a fight over an ult orb as well if Asuna wants to try and make a play for the A orb. Although, if you take a look at where he's positioned on the minimap, it's going to be his job to control that kind of orange area.
And right now, the players are leaning over towards B main. It's going to be a deep knife off the rip. But you're right, those ultimates could be playing a pretty crucial part. Bonus round by the guard, quote-unquote bonus round, I suppose. But the investment of 100 Thieves, they want to be winning this round out, keeping these guns moving.
Look at how cool this brimstone smoke is as well. Normally we're paying attention to Jonah P's smokes on the defense, but this one allows them control of B.
Looking away through those, they're running straight into the crossfire. Weaponry not quite there, but a Prowler connects, and that means that Willer's going to be able to be dealt with easily enough. Still, Alan dropped to his knees.
I don't think there's any possibility of a res.
Yeah.
But the spike is also right in front of him. And as Valen falls, can they recover at least the spike from this situation? Saya goes forward and picks it up. But he's pretty isolated here. There's not too much that Jonah P can do to help him.
100 Thieves are playing so far back here.
Mad amounts of respect, right?
Yeah, huge. Willing to give them the entirety of the site and just opted to try and play the retakes, but...
Oh my word, what?
Holding these angles. Timing is everything here.
Saya player knows he can't just, well, most of the time, he couldn't just get the plant down. In fact, 100 Thieves positioning would allow that. So he's searching for the kill. Jonah P can't quite find it either. Saya now left in a 1v3. He's the early round player, not the late round clutcher.
Team left to it. Aston's going to be squeezing from the one side. The rest of his team is following a close quarters fight. And at the end of the day, it is 100 Thieves' favored. Aston's the one who claims it from the sidelines.
And a good response from 100 Thieves. Stopping that snowball from happening.
Yeah, think about it. Want to keep those guns going. They save the operator as well. They managed to grab a couple of those ultimates out of it. At least Valen ended up using that null command, so that's not going to be available to them.
And again, this idea of 100 Thieves' defense being powered by stopping the guard from even getting into post-plant positions. You can see their Bang finding the first knock, I guess, onto Valen, although it did eventually become a kill. And then you've got an operator playing at the back of yellow. So quite not the most aggressive hold you could have in the world on B, where you're playing super up towards the choke point, but still working a crossfire off the back of yellow stops the guard from getting into comfortable positions. Trent didn't even get an opportunity to use the Nightfall, for example. Early Viper's Pit here from Bang.
Deep play into mid.
And look how fast this is.
So much aggression. Maybe honestly just anticipating it. Trademark is still going to go off though. It's going to slow down the approach. It's still this off angle. You can see the drone in play. A bit of spam from Trent. He's just trying to find his mark. Derek will fall in the end. And it's chaos. A bit of pandemonium at the back of the site. But Stella, he locks it down. He's thriving in it. 3 kills in the round so far for him. And the spikes drop down at the backside. The very backside of B.
That is devastating for the guard. That one looks like a very specific anti-strat. Such unusual pathing from the guard in this round.
Definitely, I think, off the back of the Viper's Pit, surely.
Absolutely. Expecting that Kitchen would be open every time they pit. It's probably a read that their coaches are giving them. And Asuna and Bang, they shut it down. No possible recovery of the spike there.
One of the things that 100 Thieves have been doing so goddamn well has been these crossfires and the fundamentals and the trading off of one another. They've been so well drilled in almost every aspect of it in their recent games. They're just not leaving any gaps. But potentially, the guard could find themselves the way back into the round.
And honestly, full credit to Stella there for being able to read the play that was coming towards him and adapting to it so well. Because that isn't something that 100 Thieves will have a set protocol for. The desk were praising 100 Thieves for how great their defensive protocols are. I'm not sure they have planned how to repel them pushing through kitchen into your spawn. Big opener from Derek too, as the guard try and tackle this round with a couple of hero rifles. Should be 100 Thieves being able to get out into the lead.
Yeah.
And here's one thing to take a note of as well. The Guard have been spectacular at their attacking first kills. It's one of the big areas where the Guard look a lot better than 100 Thieves. But at the moment, the way that 100 Thieves are taking fights is stopping the Guard from getting those comfortable first duels.
All contact plays up until this point.
Here.
See the weaker weaponry. To the drone for information, Derek's aware. Knows the players are going to be loitering around in a particular area now. Just sending in the utility. No one's really able to get an edge just yet, but just you still need to be careful that they don't give away anything at the end of the day with the Sheriffs. One shot will do it, especially up close and personal. Flash play. Portions of the wall the Stella placed down earlier just being broken away, chipped away. Still an attempt is being made, but upon flash play, Asuna right around the corner, and his team, of course, are going to be supplementing it, helping him out. No loose ends.
I like the jump peek around the corner as well. A great little flash there from Asuna, timed perfectly. Just as the wall is going down, the one that Stella put up to deny the plant early on in the round. And Trent has had this ult online since round 4, and he still hasn't found an opportunity to get value out of it. The Guard are struggling at the early round here. And for good reason. 100 Thieves are playing this defense wonderfully. They're a great defensive team across most of their maps.
Yeah, the preferred side, usually.
You want to play? Let's play.
Tour de Force opened up here for Sire player. You can see Will's also got this operator online, but that is Derek just offloading it. The Hunter's Fury. All the common angles just trying to be cleared out, but not a target in sight.
Yeah, finding nothing off the back of this one. And once more, the Guard using their same utility to take B. The Brimstone Smoke, the Prowler, and you can see how 100 Thieves have now had to drop back into a passive sight kind of hold. The Guard don't have too much map control, but 100 Thieves have dropped back.
Early days, yeah, but with the direction of this spike, okay, interesting shock dart over the top.
I assume that one's designed to try and remove a trademark, actually. But if you look at where Sire player has it, it's just monitoring an aggressive push out of A.
Yeah, something along those lines. Now with 45 seconds left, it is going to have to be a bit of a re-clearing, I think, from the Guard. They were giving a lot of space in B main, but they didn't know that prior. Orb still up as well. The play is going to be made shortly. Final 30 seconds left into this round. Trent, one's in his hands, now the nightfall. What is he going to be opting to do here? Game plan seems a bit iffy. It's a bit indecisive in terms of what they want to do. There's a nightfall and a swing from Stella. Impeccable in terms of the timing. Plant's still going to be trying to go down, but Net is forced to move and at least offset his positioning because he knows all that utility is being dumped into it, and time still running low right now. 100 Thieves primed, ready and waiting. They could do some serious work, but the spike is still going to be dropped in Sire player. Safe hands. The back of yellow with a tour de force. Viper's pit drop down. Asuna wants to press the advantage. Pushing forwards into it, but left alone now down to Will. Takes out one of his adversaries and it's down to the 1v1 Chamber versus Chamber.
Sire's already found 2 in the round. The tour de force online as well. Looking at the right angle. There's Will. Having an impact round exactly when 100 Thieves need it to keep the momentum going. Will having a good series is going to be such a win condition for 100 Thieves. And that is a great way to get the confidence flowing.
What a Red Bull clutch. Just amazing crosshair placement as well as he takes that swing. Right at the correct positioning.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Take a look at this one. Will finishing off Trent, who had had a monster round. And Sire just misses the shot. He was so good for it earlier on with the tour de force. And look at the rest of the pop-offs.
They love it, man. They are loving it.
That's another really clean... maybe the word clean doesn't quite apply to that, considering it went down to a 1v1. But another successful retake for 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Crucially, Will being the one who finalizes it. Really important that this guy has a good series overall.
Guard have struggled with post plants during LCQ. Oh, Trent goes to try and body block the shock dart, presumably there. But takes a lot of damage. Maybe he was just trying to dodge it and accidentally ran into it. We only got a flash of his POV. But that's rough. Having one of your best players drop down to 57 health.
I'm not really too sure what the goal is still of these shock darts. I'm thinking maybe it's the rendezvous position, a bit of anti-stratting, but...
Yeah, I mean, look at the rendezvous position right now. If the shock dart connects roughly around where Derek is throwing it, that's going to be Sire player on a fairly long cooldown. Not as long as on the live patch, obviously.
The play yet to be made now. Orbital strike in the back pocket of Jonah P. Team's going to be starting to group up here to guard. Raring to go. A-side still in their hands here, but that's going to be the null command from Asuna. That's going to push them back.
That's a lot of players suppressed on the guard.
Yeah, and with 30 seconds left. Hard ask for a pivot, especially with this mid look from Bang. He's going to be able to collect any kills if they try and at least operate and go into a different direction. But no, they want to commit to it still. Stella from Nest, finding the work, doing the damage. Asuna, the back of the site. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Absolutely cleaned up. And the guard just cannot find an opportunity to win. Of course, they were able to take the second round in a really nice force buy and got the follow-up, but since then, there's been nothing going for them. Even when they get the plant down, they're losing the post plants, and in situations like this, they're under so much pressure even when they're trying to get in. The guard are playing very slowly, Brent, and it's like they've got the same game plan they used against FaZe. But there's a massive difference in how FaZe defends with their aggressive players of Baby Bear and Dicey, and how 100 Thieves defends with their extremely set defensive protocols.
Yeah, always a crossfire, always able to help each other out.
And it looks like the guard might have picked the wrong game plan here for this first half, and it's slipping away from them fast.
Single buy round being one for them, I think, thus far in the first half. Just get that much more difficult. The smoke is an interesting one. We were mentioning it prior. It does give the guard a lot of space. And that's exactly what it affords them. An angle blocked off from the operator angle that Will was playing. He didn't really expect the players to be there, but still, an attempt is made. Bang will take out two, but eventually traded. Jonah P again moves forwards.
And you'd think it was worthwhile for Bang to take two, but it has put a rifle into Jonah P's hands. And that makes this a very even 3v3.
Really tricky scenario as well.
And honestly, one where Jonah P has his ult to work with too, so this should be a monster post-fight.
How do you win this one? Side player going back to safety. Net did end up falling. 2v2 with a resurrect online, but that orbital strike, surely that's going to be denying it. Yeah, way too much damage. 100 does the job, a jumping from Sire player.
That's bold.
Molly over the top though. Jonah P's bought himself a bit of time and still in the 1v1. Cross replacement is everything, and he is on top. What a performance from Jonah P so far. This guy has been on fire recently.
It's an awesome round to get the guard across the line. Jonah P with the first kill in round 8, but they couldn't convert. And it's the thrifty win, round 9. But if these are the rounds that the guard are getting, it's still not looking good. They've yet to win a gun round. This one was the thrifty. And they just used some of their biggest tools. So even though it's fantastic that Jonah P was able to win that and get the guard one on the board, doesn't seem replicable just yet. We still need more out of the guard here.
Viper's Pit dropped down now from 100 Thieves again. Last time saw 100 Thieves go for a bit of almost anti-stratting as well. They took the heavy mid-presence as the guard, that is.
Eric with a dodge on his drone to keep it alive against the op shot of Sire player. And you're right, Ben. Last time we saw, there's that shock dart again. Always being sent, never a trademark there. Oh, and Sire player almost got an opportunity onto Derek. In the previous time that there was a Viper's Pit. Last time there was a Viper's Pit, the guard pushed very heavily up mid. And they have 3 players, 4 players around that area now.
Look at this repush from 100 Thieves. Contact very clear. All the information going to be gained now. They know where these players are being corralled. Right into orange, but it is Valen who wins out the fight. Derek falling. One less opportunity for 100 Thieves, and still the angles are being watched. The flanks swarmed inside the pit. Bang really just can't hold. Unrelenting force. Snow does clean up Sire player, but it is chaotic. Left down to just Asuna.
Net managed to duck away from Asuna there and has maintained his position over towards Kitchen, can reposition Snowman.
Really hard ask.
It just doesn't seem winnable for Asuna. No one's giving him anything.
Look at what they've got available as well. I mean, Net's just happy to contain the back area of the entire map. Asuna knows that he has to try and find a fight against at least Net or something. With a tap there of the spike, Molly going to be sent flying as well. It means that he can't quite stick it even if he was, but Asuna has done first part of the equation. Completed, but time running so low now. Impossible task against players and utility that he was up against.
And there you go. That is the Guards' first gun round. And it came off the back of them being able to swarm with the Nightfall into a Viper's Pit. And Valin finding them an entry. And Valin doesn't often get entry picks. But in their previous match, he was coming out with them left, right, and center. And right there, he gets an incredibly pivotal one. The Guard didn't really use any utility, and they didn't have players holding that angle through fence to the very back towards spawn. But Valin just hits a 90-degree flick and deletes the 100 Thieves player that was holding it there. And that's the kind of magic that the Guard really need to get back into this half. It's still doable.
Certainly is, especially when you consider the kind of halves and which side is stronger. 100 Thieves typically on their attack sides, they have struggled on certain maps.
And 100 Thieves are going to take a timeout here as well, just to ensure that they don't let the momentum slip away. It feels like so much of this is down to getting good early round wins for the Guard. And I think 100 Thieves have just been so great during this recent low bracket run at holding smart angles, taking smart fights, and being in position to support each other. I think especially Asuna and Bang have been amazing at that. Asuna takes so many fights, but so many of them are well set up where he is favored. And if he's been being that intelligent with how he takes fights, the mechanical skill that the guy's also got is just going to take over.
The numbers that he's putting up have been outlandish, honestly.
He's been statistically the best player in the tournament so far. Although I'm sure there's many different candidates for that playing in the match currently. Look at this aggression.
His aggression, but Angle being watched there. Lucky to get out of his life. It's not going to be skipping away. Actually healed up as well, but a fast play being made by the Guard. Not really wasting any time. They are being stopped in their tracks though by this Viper wall that's across. Top flash play to try and get their way through it, but the angle at Jenny is still watched.
Here comes Net at the back. He's got a flank through mid.
Massive kill opens it up, and now a bit of confusion and chaos. No one's watching him right now, especially with these bright smokes. Every angle found. And Net's still with 3. Derek though, the immense answer back. He has managed to return this one into the 2-on-2. Hunter's Fury popped off. Here's that spike being planted. Location going to be revealed for about a moment. Can they dodge and juke it? Derek finds the kill.
Absurd. And Sire player brought down to 68 health as well.
Too much to watch. Up top there, Sire player's just clueless.
What a round for 100 Thieves. And it's Derek. Sure, that one doesn't go onto the clutch meter, but he did so much work. Incredible performance considering what Net did. The mid lurk masterful from the Viper player on the Guard.
So much value.
And 100 Thieves still recover it somehow.
I mean, these guys, Derek, Asuna, Bang, these guys have been performing so damn well for 100 Thieves. The consistency of which they've been playing at.
The coach is in the timeout just saying, oh, Derek, win us a clutch, would you?
Put another one on the board.
That's the Sean Gares magic.
You got a record to beat.
He does. He's on pace for it as well. It's been one of the best clutch performances we've ever seen in a tournament run.
Final round in the first half, though. Weaponry is a little bit all over the place right now, but it is a contact play into mid. Derek, a bit of spam. Just the raw bullets being sent forwards, but a fast play now into orange. Bang knows the timing. Oh, it's everything. He drops down from the top ropes. An instant trade is there. But still, fights taking place all over the bloody shop. Right down into the center of mid. Asuna will deal with a bunch of these players. The fragment nade, not enough to deny that spike from going down, but it does a decent amount of chip damage still. Left alone to Trent and Jonah P, and the weaponry not good in Trent's hands.
They can't give Jonah P a kill, though. One kill, and he gets the orbital strike online.
Molly going to be denying a lot of this one now. Trent playing close to the box as well. There's crossfire, but they need to hold the back of Yellow still. Position going to be gained. A bit of a pop flash play. The wall in play. Trent just needs to survive, but he won't do it. And they all come tumbling down. It's going to be 8 rounds on the board here for 100 Thieves.
Looking spectacular on the defense, as expected. But there's a whole other half to play.
Yep. Absolutely unreal performance though so far on Icebox when you consider the advantage that the Guard had coming into this one as the upper bracket team. Still going to do it for half so far. I'll go to a short break on the other side of things. Of course, the continuation of map number 1. Don't go anywhere. Opportunities about now for 100 Thieves to try and cement this lead. Now if they carry forwards the advantage they've had all LCQ, winning out these pistol rounds, they'll be setting themselves up nicely. But they have to do it now. And in the past, Josh, you know, they've struggled, I think, to really keep hold of a lot of these leads that they've gained.
And I think that's why the pistol round is going to be so important here. You can't afford to let the Guard have an inch back in. And not just the pistol round, but also being able to convert the next too. Looks like there's going to be a large clash over towards A. 0 point broken very early on there from 100 Thieves, denying a little bit of information. And you see them asking to throw his own knife towards pipes. That's a position that Sire player is going to be posted at very often, this time not there.
Over the top, that does force the rendezvous, but is relatively speaking slow and steady from 100 Thieves. There was a lot of early oomph pushed into the fight, and look at the position as well that Bang's playing in, ready to absorb any sort of lurk all the way at the furthest reaches of their spawn. Very cautious indeed.
Point broken as both teams try to deny a little bit of information. They're not prompting a flank though, out of the Guard.
I think at this point the play might just be waiting for these Viper toxins to go down before the push starts to come through. It's going to fade away.
That would be now, and they don't appear to be taking the opportunity, although with 0 point and the recon dart coming through, that's the cooldown they were waiting on.
Absolutely, all those abilities coming online now. They can start to try and work their way in, but still the Guard are holding this 3 players at the back of the site, and a call has been made.
The 25-second pivot for mid to B?
They do not have control of B.
This is all down to Sire player. He can crush this.
And they're watching for the mid lurk. Sire player, angle on lock. Bang was the one player who needed to get stuff done with no time remaining right now. He needs to get some more damage, but Asana's there. He collects the kill, spotting the players out. Jonah B in the back, but the plant, the spike, it will go down. Time rewarded to them. 100 Thieves can now start to play around this one.
And Asana looks like the danger man. Set up inside the kitchen hallway. Could be an incredible position. He's worried about somebody retaking from this spot. But no one's coming towards him. 3 players at Snowman that Asana has the high ground advantage over. There's the first.
And this is everything for Asana right now. The fire is there. 100 Thieves follow up beautifully. And it's a flank from Net. Comes in from the back. Orb going to be dropped down, but now on only 21 health. It's not enough to secure the round. Any sort of advantage going their way. 100 Thieves again. They secure that pistol round.
And that one is massive. I can't believe 100 Thieves are able to get the spike plant down when there's 25 seconds and they're just rushing, unable to clear any of these positions because of the time.
He's got yellow position as well.
Yeah.
Like the guy.
It looked like Saya was in a spot there to simply win the pistol round and get Guard back into the map. And he couldn't quite grab it. The single kill that he got, not quite enough, especially considering the spot that Asuna got himself into and the perfect way that the rest of 100 Thieves played off that pressure.
Now all but guaranteed, I think, as well, to carry this forwards into this next round as well. Obviously, the Guard on the defense side, there's no spike plan to give them extra money to even have the option of forcing into this.
And look at that knife.
The value, man.
4 players found in mid, and 100 Thieves call the audible to get started on the A pressure. I think they've missed their opportunity, though. They were just a little slow off the marks, and now...
Misstep with the timing.
Yeah, now the Guard are looking to re-clear it.
Potentially just holding, though, might be the better play here. As you can see, it is now a gamble stack. Guard players, all of them just stand in the lineup, work their way over towards this A side.
Stay down.
Asuna will get dealt with, but again, aggression absorbed. Beautifully done. ADS with the Bulldog shots rattled off. Will's able to find his marks easily enough.
Here.
And this flank from Bang as well should be the knife in the back.
Enemy remaining.
It's only net left again in a situation that isn't winnable for them. And 100 Thieves are up 10-4 here to start out on Guard's map. And the first 2 maps of this BO5 are Cupid maps. It's the maps where the Guard have these really unusual comps. They play the Brimstone here, they play the Jet on Fracture. They're off meta. And I thought that these would be the maps where the Guard are able to get out to great leads.
Sure.
Maybe this is that double map ban curse rearing its head.
Some of the desk was talking about, obviously, it hasn't really carried forwards in almost every region. We saw Edward Gaming move forwards in the upper bracket. That was the other night.
Boom had the double map ban. They were able to confirm it. But OpTic have lost domestically in North America. Loud lost in Iceland. Paper X lost to Copenhagen. There have been teams that have just not been able to hold on.
I think it's just the nature of the game, honestly. Your map pool needs to be well-rounded enough that it doesn't really matter if you give the opponents 2 bans.
And I think it also lets 100 Thieves focus on the maps that they're not as tight on. You know, they don't have to worry about binaries, because if you leave them in, they're probably going to win anyway. So they get to really focus down on Guard's best. And it looks like they've been super prepared here.
100 Thieves so far, just a bit of roaming around the map, looking for opportunities. You can see a bit of early position was gained there by Bang, moved his way into B main. He's going to be holding that one. And I think that's just in case they decide to pivot away from A again. This is a bonus round at the end of the day for 100 Thieves, so we'll take whatever they can get, honestly, even if it's removing a couple of these guns away from the hands of the Guard.
And with 40 seconds, they don't really control too much, but this is a high-low setup. Asuna goes down on the rope.
30 seconds.
Barely, though.
What a flick from Sireplay to find that shot.
He'll die if he jumps down.
Still, he holds this angle down with the spray down.
Yep.
Sireplayer!
There it is.
Last
The
player
full
standing.
damage. Okay. Yeah, why not? Just left up to Stella. A bit of excitement injected, I suppose, into the round, but okay, good news for the Guard. The round that they should have won, they do. They keep 4 of their guns moving forwards as well. We won't speak about Sireplayer. We won't mention it.
You know, you can drop off there without taking fall damage. You just
definitely won't find itself on any social media channels.
But this is a great idea from 100 Thieves as well. They've got the high-low setup with Asuna coming over the rope. They just didn't quite time it correctly to punish Sireplayer's positioning, and then didn't check that classic rendezvous position, which is on top of screens. But the more data that 100 Thieves get about Sireplayer's setups, the more they're going to be able to counter it. He's moved back over to B, though.
Yeah, adjustments being made here. Close start to try and spot those players who might be playing up close and personal towards A on the Guard side. They back away, they have to respect it, and that's because this null command is coming through. It's going to cement their way, pave their path onto the A site now. A lot of positioning going to be gained here, but for 100 Thieves, it's pretty critical that they hold a lot of these angles. Wall going to be broken. But Spike will be down, and Derek's just going to be watching this flank. It's a doubled up approach by the Guards. Not quite winnable though, Valen. Tossing a utility into it to find any sort of work once more.
So many 100 Thieves players gathered up around Belt here. but just such safe positions. And the guard, they feel like their best option is to save.
Okay.
Sire player is going to keep a Phantom. They're going to be able to buy. He has Tour de Force for the next round. Or did he pop it this one?
Difficult one, I think.
I mean, either way, 100 Thieves post plans looking excellent, looking untouchable. The guard's retakes are just not enough to be able to crack this.
Yeah.
And the guard coming into this game, right? The guard will look spectacular in gun rounds. They've been winning 58% of their gun rounds. That's, listen, that might not sound much more than 50%, but that's spectacular.
Yeah.
That is elite
some of the heaviest hitters in the tournament as well in the phase.
Yeah, going up against the best of the rest in North America. And at the moment, they're 1-6 in gun rounds. That's really rough. The guard have been able to get their wins in other places with thrifties or, you know, the pistol round, the forces, that kind of stuff.
You got to supplement it with the, you know, the core reason you win games, man. It's got to be the gun rounds where you convert.
And here we go. Side player does have the Tour de Force. Didn't pop it in the prior round. And this is an interesting Viper wall that the guard are using as well. Comboed with the Prowler, it's going to allow them really deep mid control and stop 100 Thieves from getting information over there. But is an idea like that going to be enough to salvage a 6-round deficit?
Doesn't seem likely. The drone. Sure they clear close. Knife across the side there. Maybe an intentional tag to Jonah P. It might make them a bit more cautious now. Trying to play into yellow. Rendezvous across. That's going to get destroyed. But
what a timing.
Oh, he finds the shot.
What a timing. And now 100 Thieves have so many different plans that they can put out.
Right into Snowman.
Awesome play.
Jonah P forced to try and corral this though. All this danger just coming his way. He does manage to grab another kill. In all the midst of all of this action, all this chaos. The spam onto the wall, you've got to take out the segments of his side player. Up close and personal now with the Tour de Force. And that's going to be the resurrected eye. 3 shots, 3 kills. Bison Pit. Moving across here, all down to Derek, but this can just be stuck. Anything online, shock darts. 1, 2, we're going to spam. Stick it in. No way.
How? That's another one. Derek.
Oh my God.
Derek being able to get that. You could see the bullets, the traces flying all around. But at 35 health, there was only a single body shot needed. And what was the time there? I need that in slow-mo.
That was so close.
No.
What a way, man. What a way to get him on that 12th round map point. The team can scarcely believe it. Look at them.
And that's another clutch. Derek's just been so consistent with them. And after a 3K by Sire player, what more can you do? But I think that round also showcased something that's a massive strength for 100 Thieves on this map. They have 3 different plant positions on both sites. You know, they can go for a safe plant, or they can go for an aggressive one where Asuna flashes through the Viper wall, and it becomes very difficult to defend against that.
Yeah, they are incredibly well versed in terms of how they want to play this map.
This round, though, Jonah P with the orbital strike makes actually getting the spike down a little difficult. Sire player pushed off the angle, and 100 Thieves are grouped up very heavily over towards A.
Oh, but the pressure is on. The impetus is going to be on these guard player, Sire player, net. They're the ones who are holding down the positioning onto A as of yet. All we're going to be going up, knife against the back, and the recon dart eventually will get broken, but positioning is revealed. Horns over the top as well, into the ropes. That's a bit of spam straight through the wall. Net. Nice kill, going to be claimed. Asuna falling, it means that they are going to be pivoting, because look at this, all this space being gained by Bang. Lurks his way into B. This time,
30 seconds left.
Critical amounts of space going to be gained, and he can hold the backside of this B area. They still need to be careful of mid.
And usually you wouldn't want Bang to make any kind of play here, but in a 4v5 situation, Bang might want to go and see if he can find a quick peek onto a rotator.
Gotta be aware of this one now, but look at how low this time is running. Hot flash play, perfect timing with a swing. Orbital strike to try and deny, they don't do it, they don't get it. Too late! Fast enough, it's way too late. And now left into the post plant. Bang's still left alive, but it is still the 2v2, but he is collecting kills one after the other. This position, he cemented himself in the crossfire with him and Derek. It's way too powerful. And that's still cautious. Look at him. He's watching just in case the reposition is there. A bit of a jiggle. He spots the gun. And it's immaculate work. Still down to Jonah B. Can he do it again? The answer is yes.
And he's got plenty of time to be able to wait this snake bite out too. Jonah P keeping the guard alive, but by the thinnest of margins.
Holy.
It's an impressive 2v2 there to be able to take down two of the biggest hitters, Derek and Bang, in the late round for 100 Thieves. But it's still that 6-round deficit. They've only just been able to keep their heads above the water.
It's so close as well. These rounds they're winning. It's just, like you said, Josh. Nice edge.
Great play by Bang there to start opening things up. But you can see the time pressure that the orbital strike was putting them under. Maybe the guards are going to be a bit more diligent about not over-rotating. But the more that the guards spread their defensive setups out, the better these full A hits are going to work. And 100 Thieves have been starting almost every round with 3-4 players over towards A.
Great beginning for them now. Opener there for Sire. He's repositioned his way back to B main. Is there going to be a bit of aggression now pumped into this hit? Looks like it. Players already taking the back sides. Fragment nade going to be denying any chance to try and plant safe. Up close though. All over the top.
And as you can see, the fact that the guard are trying not to over-rotate has just opened up A massively. The guard now trying to go for a full retake. Trent one away from the Nightfall. He'd love to have that online for this.
Despite this being a 4v5 with these crossfires up close and personal, Will has been forced off the angle. Asuna spotted out there, suppressed.
He's very isolated.
He is so isolated. No one really to play off of him, and he's cleared out. Diligent behavior from the guard. One after the other, they find the targets.
And they're putting rounds on the board. Gun rounds.
Yeah.
Equal rounds. And the guard are finally being able to get those situations online where they're able to find a player on 100 Thieves that doesn't have their teammates to support them, where they're able to use their utility really effectively there. The Prowler to push Will away, then the Knife to isolate Asuna in Hell. These kind of utility combos are the bread and butter of the guard. It's what makes them fantastic. And yet, it might be too little too late.
Yeah, we'll see. They are removing away a lot of these win conditions of 100 Thieves, the thing that they've been doing so well, which is playing these crossfires, playing off of each other so well. But is it enough? They have to crawl back 5 rounds to even bring it back to OT in this first map. Still, this time no early smoke, and the drone's going to get removed very early on. Pop flash play. They're going to be roaming forwards now. Not going to be connecting onto 2 of them, but still, what an aggressive play by Sire player.
He gets away with it, despite the fact he's pressed.
Still there, goes for the quick scope, a bit of running on backwards. Jonah Pedo, 2 kills. Derek even returning, now down to the 2v2, and this is where it gets hairy.
Here.
It does have this null command, but Spike not really being disrupted. It's still going to go down. Weaponry not too ideal. Picking up a gun or 2 there. Spectre now, Derek wants to take the fight. What a shot to hit. Balanchot to his knees. It's down to net. He knows where the last player is. Molly out in his hands. That could have been a critical mistake, but the off angle by Derek is too damn clean. Okay. This guy is just elite. 3 kills in the round to secure that Red Bull clutch, and he's locked up map number 1 for the team.
Derek again. What a beast. What a phenom. He still has not lost a 1v1 in the entirety of NALCQ. He's 13-0 in 1v1s, and he's on pace for overtaking Zhao's performance at Copenhagen with like 2/3 of the rounds. It's bonkers. This is, by the numbers, the best clutch performance we have ever seen at a tournament. The only reason that Zhao has more overall clutches is because he played like nearly twice as many rounds.
Yep.
Derek is a freak.
Guy's just cold like that, apparently. He's just cold like that.
Valen needs to change his desktop wallpaper now.
ASAP.
Now.
ASAP. Doesn't matter that he took you out for dinner a couple of months ago. You've got to change that now. But that is going to do it for map number 1 here in our grand finals of LCQ. Remember, winner gets to represent North America in champs. We're going to go to a short break. Our analyst desk, of course, going to break down all the action, and then we're going to set up that critical map number 2. Don't go anywhere. Gets half. Whoa, that!
He gets shot. Baby Bang creeping his way. Finds a good anchor. Has another 2. Give him 3. The 4.
Welcome back, everyone, to the desk here. 100 Thieves have managed to defeat the Guard on their map pick of Icebox in, I would say, pretty commanding fashion. And look, I don't want to say I'm superstitious, but oh my goodness. It's not looking good right now if you are a Guard fan here. Granted, that being said, I want to say, like, I think the composition really, like the Sage, you can see the impact that it had. Across the board, I think 100 Thieves just made the right calls through and through, and it really started for me personally at the Agent Select.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I like sometimes Sage's comps to make that attempt to try for something a little bit different, but here I think the double controller was well read. I think 100 Thieves was super well set up to play against it.
And also at the same time, I do think Guard could have used the double controller in a bit more ways on the attack, where we could see them make more deeper hits towards B, dropping the smokes that block off sight so they could fight for Snow, because we actually saw 100 Thieves were the one walling and fighting Snow, fighting pretty aggressively for their comp in comparison to the double controller.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of interesting, I would say, because we've always seen those great defensive side ideas from the Guard, but so often they're getting that defensive sided start, so they're just off to kind of the races with this double controller composition. Here that wasn't the case on their attacking side, clearly struggled. Part of that was some of the great adaptations that 100 Thieves had. This team has gotten so good at making these little calls in the mid-round. There was a round I wanted to take a look at here from that first half, and if we can pull this guy up, it starts off with Guard looking like they have pretty much the right idea. 4 players A main, Net already working his way through mid. The trademark's here, and no one is watching for him, so you'd think he's going to get some pretty good value. On the other side, though, 400 Thieves, they already have this setup well done. You see 4 players there on that A site, so they're prepared. They know where this hit is coming, but so too does the Guard. As we let things play out for just a moment here, you notice Net again working his way through mid on this lurk. His teammates are going to try and fight onto site, and initially, pretty unsuccessful. Asuna shuts things down, but Net is going to find some really good timing here in just a moment. He'll take one on that lurk. He'll find another here as well, and I believe the third there as well. Yeah, like it was fantastic as an individual for Net to be able to step that up, but this is where things get interesting, because Derek comes in and gets a 2K. That's all cool. That's just a Derek moment. That's what he does. But what they do once this comes down to the 2v2 is awesome, because if you take a look at his utility, he has everything a Sova could dream of. He has a shock dart, he has just a recon dart, a drone, as well as his ultimate ability, and his teammate rotating in, you see the Viper on the map there, has a molly. So they make this really cool decision on how to stop that plant from coming through out of Guard. Instantly, the dart will come through. Valen will get on the tap for the spike. He goes off when that Hunter's Fury is activated, but look at the zoning utility that comes out here from the side of 100 Thieves. The Viper player in Bang is coming forward on an angle where he can throw a snake bite. It's going to land just about there in the middle of sight, and there's a dart on the backside. So you have to kind of be turning around, breaking that, taking that fight at the same time as the utility is raining in. You'll see in just a second here that the first tag comes through. That's going to kind of connect onto Valen there because the recon bolt tagging him up over on this wall. As we let it go a little bit forward, you'll see right there, the molly comes onto the floor, and that zones Valen out into the open. We can play that one more time. You see the molly comes in, and Valen is stuck. He only has one angle to go. Bang knows where that is. The coordination between these two is impeccable to open him up. Then it comes down to a 1 versus 2. This is winnable for Saya player, but the coordination again in the little micro moments of utility is so good. Drone comes here, pulls the line of sight of Saya, forces him to use his operator to break that, and Bang's just up top, chilling out, ready to reply. 100 Thieves is incredible when it comes down to these clutch situations, not only for Derek as an individual and for this team, but just as a whole in how they coordinate the utility.
Yeah, and really a truly excellent breakdown there, because I think it just goes to illustrate, Mel, just how this team, again, no matter the role, no matter the situation, they find a way. They know what they have to their advantage, and they manage to pull out success. Speaking of that, Asuna, another high-impact player, right? Typically the duelist for this team, playing as the initiator, playing as the KO, but playing that duelist initiator, initialist role, if you will, and it seems to be playing out very well for Asuna, as you see the stats here.
And it's not just Asuna doing it by himself either. There are moments where he's popping, flashing through his smoke, but it's not just him, it's him and a teammate going together, and it's very fundamental. And looking at 100 Thieves, it's not really like these huge hero plays that really define the game. They're playing together, they're flashing together, they're peeking together. And Asuna, he's found that perfect balance between being a supportive initiator where he's throwing flashes for others, but also like, hey, come over here, let's pop flash this. And although it's kind of like, you know, he gets the flash and he gets the swing, he gets the kill, it's still that coordination between him and other players that really makes it stand out when you see him play.
Yeah, it really was just incredible throughout the series, but shifting focus so to the second half, we thought, okay, maybe the guard, you know, could it be a little beaten down here, but might have an opportunity to rally back, but that wasn't necessarily the case, Mimi. They struggled in the second half as well.
Yeah, I mean, their defensive side tends to be really, really good when they're playing this double controller composition. That Brimstone is awesome for playing the retake, popping down those 20-second smokes, but it wasn't coming through, and we had a few rounds here to take a look at where it felt like Guard was making the right calls, making the right plays, but 100 Thieves still countered it out.
Yeah, this round is specific. They know that 100 Thieves had killed going into this round, and so you immediately look at the radar. They already have 2 people flanking through mid, but here that's setting up, you know, for a pretty favorable 2v1 on Derek. But when it's Derek and you have 2 people going against him, he manages to kill Jonah, and that completely takes them off guard. No pun intended, but that completely unravels the round, and Will obviously getting in the kill on site here, and everything starts to fall apart for Guard, which going into this round, they had the idea we can go 1v2 on Derek on the flank, and that just, look at them, they have to save. It's 2 people dying now, and they're at 3v5.
Yeah, and this is another one of these rounds. You were kind of talking about this earlier, where they don't have the double controller, but they're still making these cool plays to extend forward and fight this space. Look at that, Sagewell, Asuna flashes through. That's his role as the entry KO on this map. But Guard, again, have the right reply. Jonah gets a 2K, trying to take this fight, and sets Net and Saya up in a really winnable position.
And one thing to note, too, I said it earlier, this is a play that, even though they don't have that Sage, that double controller allows you to drop the same smokes and cut off the same silence that the 100 Thieves Sagewell did, but Guard didn't really leverage that to their advantage on their attack.
I mean, that's insane, right? Derek instantly, a reaction to his teammates taking contact, pops up his ult, comes in with a shock dart, and wins the 1v1 off the spam. Look how close that defuse was. The guard keeps having like these right ideas on how to counter out what 100 Thieves is doing, but these magical moments keep coming through. It's not just the preparation, it's not just the mid-rounding, but it's the big individual moments. The casters are saying it. Derek, he hasn't lost a 1v1 this event. 13-0
That
on 1v1.
moment was like, you could look at the bar, like the sliver, it was like closer than Bren's mustache hair. You know what I mean? Just so fine, so close. But now we move on to Fracture, and we see, does Guard have a response here on this map? What is going to happen here? Honestly, at this point, I think you just kind of have to throw the paperwork out the window, and you just got to go with the vibes. You just got to feel it out if you're Guard, Mel, because I think that they felt like Icebox was a surefire hit for them, and the fact that it didn't now puts them on their toes.
Being in Guard's position, though, I'm sure that they'll be fine to bounce back. They're not the type of team that just, you know, loses one map and they're like, oh, we're boomed. So they're very mentally resilient. So Guard, last time they played Fracture was against Cloud9 only a few days ago. So nothing out of the ordinary from Guard's comp. You notice anything?
Yeah, for 100 Thieves, he goes back to the Neon. We've seen a few different looks out this team. They've shown the Rays, they've shown the Neon, they went back to the Rays. Now they're returning to this Neon composition. I think it works really well, especially when you're playing that Neon in like a non-mirror composition with that defensive side. It's not like both teams are getting that aggression off the Neon early. It's going to be 100 Thieves, I think, in a lot of these rounds, trying to set the tempo on the defense, which means pressure continues to be on Saya. He had a really tough attacking side last time they played Fracture. It was a big reliance on the defense for the Guard to rally back.
All right, you guys know what's coming. Who's going to win this game?
3-0 100 Thieves.
Wow, you're calling it already?
I'm doing it again.
Stop it. Okay, what about for you, Mel?
I know I've never given up on the Guard, and I won't now, so Guard.
Okay, she hasn't given up on the Guard yet. We'll see how this plays out. Does the Neon work out in 100 Thieves' favor, or can the Guard answer back? Let's send it back over to your casters, Brendan Sideshow, for the call.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is looking like an incredibly exciting series. Seeing adjustments being made as well from prior series. Asuna moving back over to this Neon after, you know, he had a pretty poor performance when he played the Rays last time on this map. But this next map, this Fracture, has a lot of interesting implications overall. 100 Thieves haven't lost the map 2, I think, so far in LCQ.
That's bonkers.
They ended up winning every map 2 that they've played those so far. And the Guard also haven't lost Fracture. But going into the series, they also never lost Icebox as well. So a lot of usuals just being upset across the board.
Yeah, and the Guard play quite an unusual comp here too, that I'm sure 100 Thieves have prepped for, because they know that Guard aren't going to ban Fracture. So it did make the map pool, I think, pretty obvious for 100 Thieves in terms of their prep, and you saw the value of that on Icebox. Derek throws out a flash there as well for Asuna to get a little bit of a peek and see if he can get on the line. The Guard are just creeping forwards towards Dish, wary of any kind of trademark that's going to be in a normal position. Not set up this round.
for the moment. Stun, pushes them back just through halls, but already a play being made. You can see the dash onto the side, but nothing has been cleared. Hard anchor positions being played by 100 Thieves, and it looks like, oh, as was foretold, another pistol round might be going their way with the spike drop down onto drop on top of it. This is an impossible task for Trent and Jonah P. It's going to take a miracle.
It simply seems unwinnable. Jonah P would have to hit some miraculous shot.
There's one. A bit of collateral damage as well. The player's still alive, Jonah P.
He's doing it.
Looks like the clash hit, the damage has been done to Trent. Plays being made all over the place. Will jumping into their face.
Utilizing his shorty and then a headhunter to finish off the round. And that got squeaky.
Yeah, it got a little bit dangerous, I think, the way that they were lining up to try and trade that one out.
But also the guard did not get the plant down, so unlikely that we'll see a force coming through. And side player in quite an unusual spot there, getting caught by the site anchor.
I think a big problem there as well for them being Trent, your big info gathering agent as well, wasn't able to get any sort of presence in halls. They were even pushed back the entire time, stunned. Weren't any tools to try and clear out the site. Side player left to his devices gets taken out early, but it looks like a bit of aggression being pumped into B main again. A stun for a stun, just exchange, so that's going to push 100 Thieves away.
And that's, by the way, third pistol round for 100 Thieves. And we said that that was going to be such a major win condition. Now, that was also assuming that the guard were going to win a lot of the gun rounds, and that didn't happen on Icebox. So far, 100 Thieves have been great at all portions of the half.
Forwards, no smoke from any play inside. Please spray down from the weaponry.
Not bad.
Easily done.
Asuna looks pretty good in the kind of shaky spray control moments. He's been farming those eco players in multiple situations, but that's pretty important. It gets his ult closer up. Not going to be quite online for the bonus in all likelihood, although he could try and play for some kind of orb aggression.
Yeah.
Not the most comfortable thing to do on Fracture, however.
Managed to save the Phantom, of course, so you have that one rifle, the hero rifle play that could really be a big difference maker, I think, in this bonus round for 100 Thieves. But the guard, great opportunity. They can't let escape them now that they've managed to buy up into this one. Horned over the top. Clear all of this, but guess what? No player's really leaning that way. In fact, Will has managed to post himself up. This off angle at Arcade, still in range of his rendezvous as well. A real presence here. Could get some serious work done, and there you go.
Nice shot, the second one connecting. Asuna has pushed all the way forwards towards Tree. They were waiting for some kind of coordinated play, but didn't see him, didn't expect him to have flanked underneath.
Dash to the side.
Now he's in an awkward spot.
Jiggle the movement, a flash to help him find that play.
Awesome. That was from Derek.
Right from main as well. This is going to be set up for the kill, and this bonus is looking all but sealed up. Conversion doesn't matter if they don't have the weaponry. The ideas that they got behind these rounds have been sublime.
Oh, and it's just dominant from 100 Thieves. Absolutely dominant. And the desk were discussing the different ways in which this series could go. You know, Mel still believing in the guard, Mimi already calling it, the 3-0. But honestly, whichever way this finals of NALCQ goes, whether it's a blowout for 100 Thieves or whether the guard claw back, you've either got two great teams battling against each other, or you have one dominant third team that looks primed and ready to do something on the international stage.
Absolutely.
And a new team to hit the international stage as well. Only Asuna with previous experience there.
I think it's massive as well. These 100 Thieves guys, for the entire org as well, with this switch up that they made all the way back in stage 1. Remember it.
Yeah. I mean, it was the guard that kind of contributed to that as well, blowing them out 13-0 on Ascent. And 100 Thieves are mopping them up right now.
Yeah, people were clowning on them.
They were. But Nadeshot pulled the trigger on blowing, or I don't know about pulled the trigger, but, you know, pushed the detonator button at the exact right time on that previous roster, because now they've managed to get in position with this plethora of hidden gems, the diamonds in the rough that they picked up and polished. They've got them into position where they're looking primed and ready for NALCQ. They've gone on a run in the lower bracket at the perfect time in the year to maintain relevance for champions. I mean, 100 Thieves are looking superb right now.
It's still early days in the series, of course. Best of 5. A lot could happen in that time. A lot of maps left to play.
But I think these two are some of the biggest challenges they'll face, because it's the guard with such unique ideas on this map and on the previous. Asuna spotted, going for the push.
Bit of a glide in play. Side player was obviously on Bit of a high ground angle so he could spot just over it, but he whiffed the shot.
It's a difficult one to hit, though, over the top of the brim smoke.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And Asana's backed it up. Took a little bit of damage.
Players are so grouped on either side here. Waiting for that brim smoke just to expire.
Right there.
Now they're looking to retake that B main control.
Will, in the meantime, is set up on a fairly deep angle over towards Halls. So at some point here, with Will's positioning and the trademark, Derek's going to be able to rotate, and Derek has the rolling thunder that could be important for a retake setup or for denying the plant if these 100 Thieves B anchors can hold on.
All smokes drop down. Been dashing forward, so Cypher's going to be taking positioning there. Think Canteen, rolling thunder as well, clears out through onto the side, but no one's really watching Arcade, and 100 Thieves was Asana again. Comes up with a good bit of a flash play. And Jonah P with a perfect backstab opportunity. The rest of his team follows up. They're squeezing the remainders of the guard.
But here you see it, Derek with rolling thunder. They're going to commit to this, even in a 3v4.
Rolling thunder now, as the plant is tapped away. Aftershock as well into the corner. Slows down the play, a bit of damage. The forced out into the open.
Perfect. Great utility usage. And now there's 10 seconds. There's no time at all.
Will's got the operator angle locked down. It has to be a huge play, a miraculous one. Pushing forwards into the spawn, but Derek reads it. And a stick of the plant, Trent's got no other options, just the rifle, and he contact peeks into it. Again, Will locks down the angle, but it's cool, calm, and collected from 100 Thieves. The guard looked like they had such a good idea in terms of how they wanted to play that one. They almost salvaged it. With just the two-pronged attack into Arcade, the way that they were able to take control of the site.
Yeah, I think the crunch into Arcade and the tower control was all fantastic from the guard, but they just weren't able to get the plant down. And that's why I mentioned Derek's ultimate at the beginning of that round being over in Halls and the space and info that Will had gathered for them, because when he rotates, it becomes almost impossible for them to get the plant off. The aftershock into the corner onto a stunned player. How are you going to deal with that? And Jonah P was holding a line from Arcade, begging 100 Thieves to push off the back of the Rolling Thunder, but they weren't going to do it.
They didn't.
They purely played disciplined just to deny the plant going down and making time the biggest enemy of the guard. And now it's a timeout where MCE Cupid get to have a little bit of input, a little bit of say. And it's been a rough start here for Sire players. 0-5 for both him and Valen, but Sire players had first deaths in, I think, 4 of the rounds so far. A lot of them either way. And that is not something that he can afford. He's normally such a beast in these opening duels. About over a quarter of the duels he takes are at the beginning of rounds. Just to give you an idea of how much he prioritizes those first kills. And he was good for them on Icebox. On the defensive side, he was getting them. But now that he's here having to do a lot of the work entrying, it looks like 100 Thieves just have his number.
And you can kind of get a bit of a sense as to why Jet's fallen out of favor. Team's running a bit more of the Rays, the Neon, anything that could burst quickly into these sites.
Just so much utility to navigate.
Yeah.
So much danger.
One drop down, up close and personal. It's going to get removed. Again, slow, cautious. On the half-by for the guard. They are hunting any sort of guns, any bodies, maybe a bit of a reclear and positioning that might they might be able to find themselves in with 100 Thieves if they get too antsy and overstep themselves.
Interestingly here, the spike for the guard is over towards Halls, and that's one area of the map that 100 Thieves are not fighting for this round. They've got a very passive trademark position from Will that allows the guard to explore that spot. I don't think Sideplayer and Valen quite realize, though. And instead, the majority of the guard are exploring Arcade.
Oh, and the smoke was dropped down close. Shonapido ripping off the header bang. No longer having that player to work off of an outer anchor down tower, but Flash comes through. It's going to push them back.
And it is an important first duel for Jonah P to be able to win. But they're still at such a massive economical disadvantage. This is one of the worst rounds to try and convert, I think.
And the discipline's there. It's a wide swing, expecting that somebody could be posted on that angle. Indeed, Will was. The reposition now on top of this box. Not going to be on this angle. A flick of the wrist, and he does find the mark still. Stuns come through. A bash into the angle, into the smoke. Stella playing inside of it. Removes him. Sideplayer not going to be able to do any sort of work from that position, and now time is running so low into this one with 3 players left alive. Asana with a better weaponry, the Phantom in his hands. It's all locked down, every angle, every faculty of the map.
Asana just getting in position to mow them down, and this looks tragic from the guard. even though they're able to find the first pick, they're just in situations where it becomes unwinnable for them, partly because the weaponry wasn't there, but also because they keep getting into situations where they're having to hit the site with about 10 seconds left.
Feels like the big jet pick, I think, from Sireplayer as well.
Chambers going
struggling.
down.
He's getting the dash engages, I think, into the side as well, but 100 Thieves have always got the right game plan. Either somebody anchoring close, playing inside the Cloudburst to punish him immediately.
It's giving me flashbacks of watching Babyface Phoenix getting crushed on Ascent. And the reason I say that is because 100 Thieves' game plan is so good at dealing with what Sireplayer wants to do. They're reading the tendencies and punishing the entry.
Straight into tower, stuns up. And just hopping, skipping around. Sireplayer this time does find that opening kill for them. Now flash through. Will hugging the wall, desperate to try and survive this one, but the rest of his team can't even help him out still. Will, how are you getting away with that?
Huge recovery play from Will. Gives 100 Thieves the advantage, and here comes Asuna.
Oh, they want to play up close and personal. The overdrive was popped off. Here in a fast lane to get them into the site. Oh, what a strike to cut across main. The damage to kills. It's flowing for them down to the 2v3. Players rotating across into the site now. Will, what can you really do? The operator, the headhunter, players moving into him. You got to be careful. Shots rattled off one after the other. He's down 3, but he's wandering right into the horn. So the positioning was known. Finally, the Guard are able to get that round on the board.
Is it the same case as Icebox where it's too little too late? We'll have to see in the rest of the half. But I like the change of tempo. Will, by the way, that's his first death. 12-1. Currently just getting away with every play, pushing through the smoke. But it is the Guard able to find the first kill for Sireplayer and the first kill for Sireplayer as well. And part of that is the increased tempo. They got into tower and stunned Bang very early on. And Bang's got to be aware of that. He's gotten caught out a couple of times in that situation. Here's a Haunt over the top as well, trying to set up Sireplayer.
Can't spam on the angle though, and still Asuna wants to lock down Hall's fast lane. Drop down, up close, still playing right into him. It doesn't even matter. The Prowler ended up blinding him.
And what a fast flank.
You play right in his line of sight, and Bang has got them completely contained. It's not being watched for. Not quite. Timing is everything right now into this round. They know their players are locked down into Halls. We're going to be opened up. Trent, 65 health, does have that Nightfall available to them, but it's still the contact play.
Face your fear!
Getting into this one now, the Nightfall to cut across into the site. With Derek brought down very low, deafened. Orbital Strike though pushes them away. Defensive one in its play, in its approach, and with the spike dropped. They are being picked apart at the seams. Maybe something can be salvaged from the operation. Maybe Trent can do a bit more work.
It's a weird and wild situation that the Guard have got going on here. Really strange positioning. Can Net find the timing? He's got an end. Oh, he had an opportunity there and almost whiffed it. But he does collect the kill onto Stella. Brings this back into a 2v2. Have they read the reposition from Bang across the rope? Bang made no noise. But Net seems like he's aware of the possibility.
Yeah, they got to know that everything's compromised right now. But for the Guard, one of the best opportunities they've had as well to put the second round on the board. A smoke is going to be blocking off that one angle. Trent forced to reposition now and still drop. Just being jiggled. And again, timing is everything, but this time Trent reigns supreme. Will, after just the operator, Seas will not be connecting. How? Seas does connect, in fact. Not going to have those noise cues. Backed away. Stun as well. Forced to save the operator.
And the Guard collect their second. Being able to convert that round was pretty miraculous by Net, I think. Making the play, the risk to push through A-Link and catch a timing onto Stella is the kill that wins them the round. Because the opening engagement here was more of the same stuff. Asuna just being able to duelist diff Sireplayer. And Sire's always got the utility to set him up for the first kills. But Asuna's weaving and dodging around it. But it's this one. Net onto Stella that I think opens up the round and sets up the Guard for a post plant where they can get into good positions. Look at this timeout being called as well from the 100 Thieves coaching staff. Not giving any opportunity for the Guard to get their momentum back, just icing it. It reminds me of OpTic and their approach.
Sure. As soon as you lose a couple of rounds, that's it, instantly.
And 100 Thieves have been amazing after these timeouts too. They won 4 rounds in a row on Icebox after the timeout. I mean, in the previous series too, they're just winning massive streaks after a small adjustment. And they're already in the lead here quite firmly.
Looking to carry it forwards, though. Keep it moving.
I mean, look at the duelist diff going on right now.
Asuna versus Saya player. Complete opposites in terms of the scoreboard of where they're landing.
And it just feels like Saya player can never get a good fight going.
No.
He had that one opportunity where the utility landed onto Bang and he got into tower for an easy kill. All the rest of the time, he's having to bob and weave through all of the defensive utility and he just gets smoked.
All the emphasis being placed on him to be the one to kind of break up crosshair placements. Get into the site. Crack it open for them.
You want to play? Let's play.
It's difficult though when you are that lone player. What a force online for Jonah P, but Will's also going to be in a very familiar angle. Seen this one before. Flash over the top. Shot fired off and a rendezvous. Forced out of him. Across the ropes, a bit of a sneaky approach. Team going to be regrouping all 5 of them now onto the south side of the map.
Last time this happened, Asuna feasted on them.
And a flash play. Repeats into it. Trent wasn't even blinded. The fast link doesn't even connect. He ended up just sending that one straight into the ground, but no punish in sight. The guard have different ideas. It's going to be, again, a cautious contact play all the way into halls, seeing if they can reclaim any part of the map without 100 Thieves knowing. They are watching it.
And look at where Bang is positioned again, reading a kind of dash engage from Saya player. Bang is begging them to go for a hard engage onto the site because he's in the perfect position to punish the Jet.
After shot though, that's going to be clear
utility.
That position. The stun as well. Forced to move to the side. Side plays up close and personal right on the top section of it, and he has found his mark. This time it's a little bit different. There's a bit of return and fire. The trade eventually comes through from Stella. The spike should go down. In a good position. Aftershock as well, going to be pushing Valen back into the corner. It's a bit difficult to play the post-plant situation. You've got to play up close and personal on the site now if you are the guard.
What a flash.
Repeat. And Asuna's found it. One angle, damage done to net as well. You can feel the pressure starting to be applied now. All a bit laid down, one after the other.
And these 100 Thieves retakes, they were amazing on Icebox and they're looking amazing here as well. I love that flash coming through from Stella. Sets up Asuna onto an angle where he's able to punish the repeak. And from there, they've got such an overwhelming player advantage that they just swarm on through.
It's really difficult, I think, as well. Spike getting into the post-plant situation, despite Valen being able to get that spike down. You're trying to hold those crossfire angles. I think Jonah P was also working with the operator or the tour de force. You have to play up close on the site. Not favorable.
Right there.
Looks like Asuna wants to get aggressive again on Tree here off the back of Derek's utility. Asuna is 4-0 at the moment in first kills to first deaths. He's been absolutely feasting on them. And there's another one. I mean, just reads the position that Jonah P's going to be playing, and Jonah P's in that spot to try and punish the play.
Straight across. Another and onto Saya, just trying to jump across. Right here. Cut up the crosshair placement. This guy cannot be stopped, though. Won't be denied. Eventually, though, net will fall. We'll take him out. What a strike as well brought up for Valen. He's going to be holding this one, maybe expecting a bit of an aggressive play through Jenny. Still holding it.
And the guard have paused. The guard have got awesome abilities, utility, ultimates to be able to work with here.
Expected a player at the backside of Jenny. They're not going to clear the site. Positioned by Bang right now. It is being met still. How is he rattling off these shots? How is he finding the kills? And it's just too clean.
Oh, it's too clean from 100 Thieves, but so sloppy from the guard. Just not thinking that somebody's going to be hard anchoring the site, despite the fact that's what 100 Thieves have been doing the entire map so far. They always have someone in a hard anchor position.
It's so funny as well. I mean, Asuna sitting at the top of his board. Look at that kill.
That's unfair. You can feel that Asuna desperately wants to get back to the world stage. He would be the only player on 100 Thieves repeat turning up to one of these international events if he gets to Champions. And his first time for any of these players, apart from, you could argue, Saya, even getting a chance to play in front of a crowd.
Yeah, massive opportunity, wouldn't it?
And Arsenal wants it.
Creeping their way ever so closer. Forcing again the rendezvous. What is that readjustment? Stella returns with two.
Down A. I got the spike.
Spike drop down. The money, obviously not good for the guard here. Second to last round of the half. Such a difficult round to try to beat. The repeat from Will, you can feel the confidence is there.
And this is just brutal. The guard with only 2 on the board. 100 Thieves up to 9. Brent, the Guard was so good at their defense side against Cloud9. That was where they really got most of their rounds on the board. So, sure, they don't need a ton of attack rounds to still have a chance, but they need more than 2. They need probably more than 3.
Disgusting. You see the level of coordination they've got with these U2 combos, but you're right, Josh. I mean, you got to have more than 3 rounds, which is the minimum, the bare minimum that he could get at this point. Final round of the first half.
And this is looking like Icebox. The Guard were able to mount some kind of comeback when they went onto their defense side. They started winning some of the first duels, but this first half has just been dominant. And 100 Thieves are 9-2 in terms of the first kills to first deaths as well. These early round plays are just ruining the Guard's chances.
And I think 100 Thieves has been so good with the mix-ups. They've been playing aggressively every now and then, pushing Asuna up into an up-close and personal angle in B main. You can see how diligent the Guard have to be. Clearing it out. One-time pushing up to this point.
Zasuna's been here many times.
There's so many switch-ups, though. The Guard are forced to really play to the tune, the fiddle of 100 Thieves. Not allowed to open up the rounds in your own way.
Trent now 1 away from his Nightfall, having, I believe, acquired the orb over at Dish. The spike, as you can see, headed over to B. The Guard desperately need this round, but it's going to be so difficult. Derek again with the Rolling Thunder. And you know what happened last time he had that ult online. There was just no chance that the Guard were able to get the push.
And the longer the Guard take with this one, Josh, the less time there is. Even if they get this post-plant situation online.
Playing fully off-site. In fact, Trent now got the orb, in fact, and has the Nightfall online. Well, my mistake with that one, but the whole of 100 Thieves playing off-site, looking to get away from that.
Top of the plan, that's going to be the Nightfall up into the spawn, so Trent going to be cutting away the audio cues. They allow that to get a safe plant.
That's pretty good. That's a great idea. But now Derek still has this tool for the retake, and bang, gets the opener.
How? You guys under so much pressure with the aftershock and the molly at his feet. But now the Rolling Thunder comes through. Skipping a hop and a crew, trying to find a fight. It's Valen up close. Right next to Jenny, playing the side of the smoke now. Trent just trying to buy his time. Still, that's up into the corner. Will just firing off, rattling off the shots. The Guard finalize it. They put one more round on the board in this half. Is 3 enough? That is the question. It's going to be a really difficult ask, I think, as well. We're going to go to a short break on the halftime. On the other side of things, we'll see if the Guard are even capable of bringing this one back. Back into the action, 100 Thieves. Got close to one step further in this series, being able to cement their place in the international stage, rub shoulders with all the other top elite teams. The biggest event of the year, Champions 2022. Of course, this is a best of 5, so relatively early days, somewhere in the middle point of this series, but the way they've been playing on this map, Josh, it feels almost secure.
Here.
Cyplay's going to have something to say about that one. Oh, finds the first pick just with a prediction play through the smoke. Gets his dash.
Cannot be cleared out of the angle. 2 kills for him. What a way to answer back.
And calms down a little. That, in fact, was Asna's first death of the map. And the first time that Cyplay has been able to get the win rate in that opening duel. But I think that's how you're going to see this map start to turn. The Guard are much better on their defensive side. And 100 Thieves have occasionally struggled with some of their attacking play. Some of the post plants fell to pieces against Sentinels, for example. But it's just such a lead that they've managed to create for themselves.
Yeah.
And remember, they've won 3 out of 4 of the pistol rounds so far, so don't even count them out of this one.
Been very consistent in that capacity. It's a massive advantage that's been barreling them win after win.
What a long-range angle this would be for Trent to actually take a fight. I think he's just jiggling here for information.
Yeah, with a frenzy. I mean, he theoretically shouldn't be favored, but I've seen stranger things with that gun.
And look at all of these pings. It's going to be a fault line. Trent's going to be under pressure.
Here to jiggle. Trying to follow up onto this one. A lot of pressure. How are you getting away with that?
No way.
The anchor position in tower. Aftershock to force them away, and time is so low for them. Just Thieves. Cannot get it done. And that's a pistol round for the Guard.
And if you only looked at that one, you'd remember exactly why Cyplay has been one of the most dangerous early round players, and Trent's been the best initiator of the tournament. Because
No charges left.
I mean, that is just a spectacular round from both of those guys.
Guys just stand up as well.
But they just haven't been able to do it enough in this series.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, that is such a beastly play. Pushing back in with the breach utility, even when Trent himself was stunned up.
Yeah.
Gets the massive value. And 100 Thieves without the plant down, not going to force. So the Guard now with an opportunity to start some level of a comeback.
There was no plant. Not even enough money really to go for the force if 100 Thieves wanted to go for it. But I think when it comes to leads like this, okay to take a breather. The Guard, they're just going to be thinking, okay, how can we make this as clean as possible? How can we build up some of those key ultimates? How can we snowball this advantage? Maybe get that foothold back into the series, back into the map.
Net thinking about going for a flash peek there, but decided against it. Anticipating that the ult orb tap was a bait. I think he would have been right. There was players anti-flash there. It could have still got dangerous, even with the classics for 100 Thieves.
Interesting horn. That's going to be latching onto a lot of players. Good information gain. The jiggle. Really patient, cautious stuff there. Sidestepping for the fault line. That's Aston just trying to skip and again hop right across their placement, but he's removed from the fight relatively quickly, and the players just trying to storm their way into canteens. Not enough.
And now it's all about converting this bonus. The Guard have been offered an opportunity to start a snowball and get back into this game. Get back into this series, because getting blown out on the first 2 maps when you have double map ban advantage would simply be brutal. I can't remember the last time I've seen someone reverse sweep a BO5. I don't even remember one off the top of my head in Valorant.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Probably happened somewhere. But that is not the situation the Guard want to find themselves in. Conversion on this bonus would be massive. Got Cyplay in an interesting position up towards Dish here. And almost a bit of a fake, as if there's going to be some Halls aggression. And 100 Thieves are breaking it with will. Just moving forwards inside his rendezvous, staying safe, but trying to break any level of a trap play.
Is that early control of Halls?
And in fact, the trap play is over towards Dish. You can see Net holding that stun off the back of Cyplayer's contact. They're expecting 100 Thieves
it's
to
off
flood.
Of P's contact.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Jonapy's contact, Cyplay can swing off the back of the fault line. So this trap play is set up towards Dish, and 100 Thieves were thinking about going there. And in fact, with nothing other than a fault line going towards Will, they are now taking Halls control. 100 Thieves have read this play and gotten a lot of map control off the back of it.
Fault line through on the fast lane. Is there going to be some sort of pivot to trademark? It's detonated, flashed up. Also dropped down to the low ground now. Asuna Letting rip a couple of these stuns. Players still trying to find their marks. Look at that. A kill for Saya Play in an instant dash back into safety. It's his team get into position now for this retake, but Derek not willing to give them any space for free. That's the advantage. Turns it back into that 4v4.
It's good info from Will, letting them know there's 2 players retaking halls, but now all of 100 Thieves are grouped up on site. These are horrendous post-plant positions unless they can trade immaculately for each other.
Yeah, and the util's starting to come online now for them. Still a molly for Valen. That could really just force these positionings, these angles. Fault line as well.
Did he catch?
Online soon enough. Oh, was being taken. How? It's got to be the better weapon at the end of the day. The rifles in the hand of 100 Thieves. It doesn't even matter about the positioning. So ready to play off one another. So ready to capitalize.
And 100 Thieves just able to dominate that one. The post plant looking great for them
did that,
with such unconventional positioning.
I really don't.
They dodged the fault line. You know, there was a molly that could have been flown at them as well. And 100 Thieves were able to take that one away with minimal damage done as well.
Yeah.
So the guard, last time they played their defense, opted very heavily into a double operator setup. They've not gone for that this time. Cyplay is still with 1,000 credits. I mean, he could have gone in that direction. Chooses not to. I think the double op setup would be particularly dangerous against the way that Asna's playing. He's so fast, he's so aggressive.
Pushing right through. That's going to be the rolling thunder. The sand, and of course space going to be gained. A flash to help Asna. Have a stun, let it rip wide off, and a horde. It's lit up a lot of these players. Lucky to get out with their lives with another bit of counter spam. Trent swings through into it, just a bit of a prediction as to where Bang might have been still. But it's going to start to get planted, and a bit of a whiff there from Will. There needs to be a follow-up, there needs to be a return, and Derek, there's only so much you can really do. Still, the cacophony of bullets sent flying this way, that way, every single direction. 100 Thieves left with just Asna and Stella. Left alive, holding that flash. Rifle cuts across the site. Now they know no one's playing up close and personal, but how do they want to take this one? Fight still. Online. Flash off to the side. Side player backed away. No kills going away in a dash. It comes to the cross. It's a high-low setup for them. There's no way. Surely not. How do you salvage this one? The answer is you don't. Trent's just far too good for it.
Beautiful spray down by Trent there. And the Nightfall used instantly as soon as the null command wore off. I was concerned for a moment though, because the trades did not come through perfectly for the guard. Asna being able to pick up 2 is pretty wild, but Trent has got it. And this guy is firmly online. And Sire player, the player that started 0-6 as far as I'm aware, back into things as well, finding these first bloods.
He's shooting back up.
And now he's got the knives online, able to drop a rifle for a teammate.
At what point do we start bringing up those narratives, Josh? Prior issues that 100 Thieves have had about closing out maps.
I think it would be if they lose this one. The economy would be broken. Asna, you can see here, playing for the ult orb, trying to get his ult online. And I think this should give them a pretty reasonable idea that it's going to be a reactive push. This is so dangerous from Jonah P. It's so dangerous. What a risk. But it pays off.
There's no follow-up. No punish. I think Derek possibly having utility out in his hands. He couldn't quite do it. Still, fault line. The overdrive. Asna contacting, slow and steady, but he's playing inside the smoke. The pop flash play inside of it. Net was out of position for him, but eventually he will fall anyway. The spike online planted. Post plants can be played. You've got to be kidding me. It looks like Asna wanted to play inside there for just one more time.
That would be absurd. Sire players on the flank though, to flush him out. Still with knives, got stunned. They know he's here, or at least they suspect it.
Util was sent through onto this one, and another smoke makes it incredibly difficult for Jonah P to get anything done. Headhunter through, now Horse still being played, a bit of a jiggle of the movement. Jonah P, he did get a lot of work done. In fact, Trent was his way into the side. Him and Sire player evens it up, but now it's just Bang versus Sire. Rotates around, time burning onto the clock. A bit of a run and gun by Sire, and he knows not enough time for him to work with there. The job is done for 100 Thieves.
Massive round, huge Red Bull clutch for 100 Thieves to win. That stops them being having their economy completely broken, but it's not going to be looking great. Even with that, they're buying 2 Spectres heading into the next round because everybody died. The win's on the board, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Now, 100 Thieves post plants here play very heavily around sand. You can see Stella always is going to be in that position for the post plant play on A. And the way Sentinels were actually one of the best teams at being able to punish that. They had fantastic reclears with their flashes, but it's not something that the guard really opted for there. They had 2 players retaking from Dish, and here we see Sire looking for an early kill. At the door, peeking out with breach utility. Goes there to punish. And a glide, a slide right into the face of them.
Balance again up close and personal. Orbital striking. It's going to be used as well to try and cut them across in case there were any more players there. But Trent.
Player standing.
Only the Spectre. Oh, it's labor play, yeah. Incredibly scrappy damage is done, but it is Trent who falls, just left up to Jonah P. And at this point, 1v3, I should say, retaking. Only the operator. I think at this point you might want to call it unless you get handed a freebie.
And overall, the way that 100 Thieves are playing so tight to each other, able to get the trades and the crucial impact kills, is just destroying the Guard. It's breaking up all of the team play that they have. And it feels like 100 Thieves' game plan is just working perfectly. Despite the fact that Asana's not going as crazy as he did in the first half, he's making a lot of space, and then you've got Derek and Bang there to trade. They have still a massive lead in this map.
Yeah.
And look like they're going to be taking one step further to winning the BO5.
This is an incredibly difficult decision for Jonah P to be making as well, because round of the board now puts 100 Thieves on that map point.
And what a performance. I think most people were coming into this series expecting Guard to be the favorites, perhaps.
You get two bans, you're going through the upper bracket, it looks so good.
Yeah. But both teams looked excellent. Both teams, when they played against FaZe, dismantled the opposition. But today, it's all about 100 Thieves. Asana playing out of his mind, looking like the best player in the tournament. And they still have the best clutcher in the tournament as well in Derek. The best controller in the tournament with Bang. I mean, 100 Thieves are blessed. But there's the first death from Will that'll start the Guard out strong. But they're still looking at a 6-round deficit and an awful buy.
It's about converting it. Smoke locks off that angle. Bit of free reign given. Playing into Arcade.
Teleport's ready.
It looks like you want to set up for a pop flash play, potentially. Yeah, flash in the hands of one of the players. As was Jenny as the goal. Trent's actually caught the timing, though. Moving forwards, though, the flash. That did connect onto Jonah P. He was caught unaware.
Derek extremely weak, and Trent takes a lot of damage too.
It's an awkward situation.
Both of the initiators knocked down low.
One of Thunder now to push them back, and you are seeing a bit of chaos injected into it, but can Net salvage it? One kill, Derek so low. Remember, it's on a precipice. The way 100 Thieves have been playing, these individuals, I want to count them out. Give them a moment, flash play to try and push into the spawn. That's managed to even it up. It's a 2v2. No command popped off. This could be it. Down to just Valen. He's found the angle and he's found the kill. But a spike in the hands of Stella. Where's the reposition? The fight is won. 100 Thieves winning the map. And that is going to be that 2-map lead in this best of 5 grand finals.
An absolute dismantling so far from 100 Thieves. They have looked immaculate. Their attack halves don't even need to be that good because their defense sides are just looking perfect against the Guard. What a way to close things out. And they are on the precipice now of going to Champions, meeting EDG that got sent there earlier, Liquid that got sent there from EMEA. This is looking like 100 Thieves time.
It really is. They are so, so close. One more map will do it, but we're going to go to a short break. And of course, send it back down to our analyst desk, breaking down the action and setting up for the potential. Listen, guys, is it even possible for this reverse sweep to happen for the Guard? They'll let you know soon enough.
Red Bull gives you wings.
to look in the wrong direction at the moment. Flyer just not even an attempt of it. Just gets hard.
He gets shot. Baby Bang creeping his way. Punch a good anchor. Has another 2. Give him 3. The 4.
You know, when I woke up this morning, you know, had my morning tea, had my oatmeal, you know, as us old people do.
As one does.
I thought to myself, man, I'm really excited and looking forward to a 5-game series today. Something that goes the distance. I'm looking forward to being here till midnight, you know, talking about my favorite game. But no, instead, 100 Thieves have other plans. They're trying to speed run a grand final. And let me tell you, I won't stand for it. I don't appreciate it, Mimi. It feels like Guard are just getting flattened right now, and 100 Thieves, they seem unstoppable.
Yeah, they look incredible. Their defensive sides, the casters were talking about it at the end, have been absolutely absurd. It was the same here on Fracture. I mean, they are now just one step away, one map away from qualifying to Istanbul.
Yeah, that's it. One game is going to be the difference maker here. But, you know, Mel, we have another Melistrator segment. But because I know that there's a round you wanted to break down there. Because 100 Thieves, again, just to kind of echo what was being said before, they're doing everything right. It is all clicking. It is beautiful to watch.
Yeah, the macro, the micro, everything's been really cool to watch. But let's get into this specific round. Is there a stylus? I got it with my hand. I need the pen for the business.
You need to do some business, and you need a pen for your business.
I love it. This is teamwork right here, everyone.
There you go, ma'am.
Thank you very much. All right, cool. So we have this round. I wanted to highlight 100 Thieves macro here. So keep in mind, they actually just took a timeout. And it's a timeout they took only after 2 losses. They really won the bonus. They won the first gun round, won every round up until 6-0, and then Guard converted 2 gun rounds, and they immediately, quickly took that tactical timeout to stop. Exactly like OpTic. OpTic are a team that always uses their tax before the half is over. No matter what, if they're up 9-1, they'll use their attack. But looking at 100 Thieves here, you can kind of see where they're set up to. It's very similar to their bonus, actually, if you watch the game, where they're ready to take arcade control. And the reason why they do this is because they know that Guard's comp, they don't really take anything too fast, especially without that neon. And so they know, and especially they haven't been doing it towards arcade. So they know 100 Thieves that they can take this space for free, and they're going to do what they did on the bonus, which is get Asuna inserted into B main. So here you see Asuna running up with the stun, just jump peeking, making sure no one is there. And here he is already inserted. And then Will as well. This is almost an exact same copy of the bonus round that we saw. And then there's Derek just throwing there's, I think, Net throwing a flash out. But keep in mind Asuna's positioning here. Look at the Guard. They're actually moving back away from defaulting towards arcade. And here's Asuna, again, like in the bonus, and there's that flash from Derek, and then Booby goes for the swing. And I know Neon doesn't have an escape card as direct as like Chamber or Jet, but Neon's a Kappa agent where you make your own escape card. You get that stun out, and you take the 1v1, get the stun so the backline, the second person can't trade on you. And here, you know, Guard feels like they're kind of funneled into this A hit because they have no map control. They don't have arcade. They just lost B main. They can't go back dish, so there's really nowhere else for them to go. And if we speed up the round here, we actually see a really patient and really well-played retake from 100 Thieves. So here, Stellar gets a nice kill from over the top of the smoke. Something cool that you guys can use in your ranked games. You guys can see actually over the brimstone smokes if you guys get on top of that box. And here it is. So here, look at where Asuna is on dish.
Yep.
He's actually creeping up, and keep in mind his placement here while this flash comes out from Stellar. This is a Stellar flash from Stellar, and right here, that flash gets Asuna on the angle, and it completely takes apart, you know, Guard's positioning on the site. Now the B main player and the site player can't really do much because Asuna has them locked down and anchored, and the site player, as you can tell there, he had to peek and he had to force a fight.
Yeah, I mean, that retake was impeccable, but I think what was even better from 100 Thieves was consistently the way they were playing this Neon with those opening gambits. You broke it down there, right? Asuna is so good at being set up to get these critical first kills, and in the first half, 100 Thieves was dominant in those early round situations.
Yeah, it really felt like there was just clear difference between how these squads were looking to take their compositions and play them right. You had highlighted it there, the speed of the opening plays from 100 Thieves, the space that they were taking, exactly, versus Guard on the other side, Mimi, that were clearly just looking for opportunities and picks, but they simply weren't coming.
I mean, look at this round, right? Saya has a setup. He wants to fight for the space towards sand, something that you can do with pretty much either of the other duelists that teams tend to run on this map, but he dashes forward and then just gets decimated by Asuna running forward. This one, he reads a player on top of the box. It's really, really cool setups consistently, and if you look at the head-to-head between between Asuna and Saya player. 1 first kill from Saya onto Asuna, 4 from Asuna onto Saya. It was a duelist diff in the early rounds, and I don't think it's necessarily that Saya was playing bad. I just think that the way 100 Thieves plays the Neon is so much better than what Guard has shown me with their Jet on the attack. It goes back to their previous matchup here. They only won that because they had a great defense, because they brought out the Op Kingdom and rallied. On the attack, they are still struggling, and 100 Thieves was great to take advantage.
Especially to the Neon on defense for 100 Thieves was very dynamic. Asuna was Hall's one round. And the B, the dynamic placements at B where he's going towards B main. And then the next round he's going towards Arcade. And then coming back to B main. And there was actually a round where they did a really a banger B main like aggression from defense. And then the very next round he throws the stun and he immediately books it to A because Guards default and they're like, yo, they're doing their aggro B main. We got to speed up towards A. And he's already at A by the time they're ready to hit the site. And then the KO flash comes out from tower and they just wipe.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, but it's like, it really does feel like it's going to come down to the defense for the side of Guard. In the last game, their game plan was predicated on the operators. Then they got 2 kills with ops in that half. It was 9-3. They didn't have time to get that setup up and going the way they wanted to. 100 Thieves had control the whole time.
I just simply did not expect to see Guard, a team that we've praised for their preparation, for the way that they have a methodical approach to the game, to get utterly dismantled like this. Look, it was Fracture. This was obviously going to be 100 Thieves' pick, and we've seen what they've done with this in the past, but goodness gracious, this has been beautiful to watch for 100 Thieves. But now, let's jump into the agent select. It's Haven that's going to be your map here. And Mimi, what do they got to do? What does Guard have to do to get a map win here?
Ooh, that is a very tough question. I think it's try and find some of these great executes that we know from them with the Sage on that attacking side. They showed it versus FaZe, but 100 Thieves have been so prepared for this matchup thus far. As we look at the agent picks, I'm not expecting anything to really change here. The one difference between these teams is the Breach versus the Sage. For the Guard, they have both the Fade and as well as Net on that Breach to set Saya up for success. And excuse me, I was thinking of 100 Thieves with their Sage comp, which has been awesome. On the other side, it will be those 2 initiators giving Saya these big moments in the early round.
And for the Guard here, if you're a Guarder here, I got you guys, don't worry. Guard does have experience dealing with this exact comp in a phase, like you were talking about. Dealing with the Sage comp, playing for that mid-control early. But the issue is, when you're playing a team that's kind of already beaten a team like that, and you're coming into it with the same comp, you kind of already know what, what to expect from them and how to counter their counter to the counter of FaZe's counter.
The counter.
I'll give one more piece of hopium. I'll give one more piece of hopium to the Guard fans as well. The defensive setups for Guard are super variable with the Fade Rays. We talked about it in the pre-show. If there's a map to bring it back, there's a chance it's here.
All right. Mimi says there's a chance. Maybe Mel still has a little bit of the hopium. We'll find out. Guard have to run it back and win in a reverse sweep. But for 100 Thieves, this is it. They win, they're going to Istanbul. Let's send it over to Brendan Sideshow for the call. Have fun, fellas.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you guys bring up fantastic points. We're going to Haven. It's a map that previously we've seen masterclass performances from the Guard. And if it was primed for any sort of a comeback with their backs against the wall, that chance of redemption on the global stage, it has to start here.
I think one of the issues, though, for the Guard is that 100 Thieves have been really good in the pistol rounds, and 100 Thieves are starting defense side again. And what the Guard were doing was winning a lot of their defensive rounds against FaZe. They were bopping them. They had so many different looks. Mid-rounding was fantastic. But 100 Thieves are looking like they want to start out again with that defensive round win rate. Ooh. Chamber Battle might be primed and ready over towards C.
Yeah, danger. There was a bit of a contact push in play. This wall going up on the pistol round is brutal to try and get through now with a minute 20 on the clock. You've got to start chipping away at it.
And unfortunately, you need to take out 2, sometimes even 3 of those pieces. It just makes C-split so difficult. And here comes the B push.
Yeah.
Paranoia, fantastic from Bang.
Trademark as well is going to be laid down, but it will mean that the plant is probably going off without a hitch. Laid down. It's going to be a nade into the corner. Spike is planted, but again, damage is done. Still as a squeeze. A fast approach by the Guard. They would be taking that connector control, pushing it away and making sure that they hold site position.
Trent still has a haunt available. He can drop back off and try and refight this one, but he just goes in with the paranoia.
Yep. Lovely bits of utility. The smoke drop down, the stun, the paranoia, all of it combos up. And the Guard, great heads up from them, I think. Their understanding of needing to fight over just those one particular sections, the connectors on B.
And so much of this meta, when you have these raise fade matchups, you know, whether it's with a Breach or whether it's with a Sage, both comps love the B hits. Because a lot of the time you're going to be playing those for retake with just a trademark. And that's what the Guard were amazing at reading. They had a lot of aggression that stopped those B hits from coming through. Mel's talked about it extensively on the desk about why that's so important. And there you see 100 Thieves with their slightly more defensive approach rather than being proactive and aggressive on the defensive side. They allowed Guard to get into a post-plant position. And what's been so great for 100 Thieves so far in the series is they're constantly disrupting the Guard. Finding them in transition and getting picks. Oh, and the Prowler getting false information here. Can Stella make a play off the back?
Isn't quite clear. Still, it's a bit of a hard chase. Stella, how do you get that? He gets 2! You've got to be joking. Eventually removed from the positioning, but Will. Oh, Headhunter in his hands, and he manages to skip away. He's on 2 health. Escapes of his life, down to that 2v2, but no weaponry in the hands of 100 Thieves. Certainly done the damage, certainly made it difficult for the Guard, but they are in that post-plant situation.
They've also done no damage to the last 2 players alive, so it's a massive health advantage here for the Guard too. It should get closed out.
With VALORANT still alive, he's going to get a smoke online soon enough as well. Quick little jiggle, a tap of it.
Will would have to have the clutch of his life.
He does have 6 Headhunter bullets, but the jiggle is impeccable. Good movement there from VALORANT to just about clear it away. Second round on the board here for the Guard, setting themselves up now.
And the Guard went for, you know, the kind of new approach to those second rounds where you're mostly investing into Bulldogs, and then some of your players are going to have the pistols too. But that's done a lot of damage to them. Only being able to save 2 out of 3 of the Bulldogs. The Guard have now got pretty much nothing on their bonus. I mean, obviously they still have the 2 Bulldogs that they brought into it, but still with 2 players only using pistols is not what you're looking for.
Interesting enough, Net did manage to build up his ultimate, so they do have the Rolling Thunder. Looks like a lot of presence being shown towards A Lobby. He risks taken in straight into mid there. Drops down, not favored in that angle. Will takes just a better fight.
Jonah P was incredible when they played Haven previously. If Will gets the better end of that chamber matchup, it will turn the tide and put 100 Thieves in champs. And Will's already been playing well in this series so far.
I think this wall has thrown a wrench into the game plan of the Guard. It's pretty clear that they were, I think, aiming to try and slowly take control of a short, a long, use the Rolling Thunder to get onto the site.
And this would be a great time to start pressuring somewhere else and return for an A re-hit. The Haunt, though, getting broken in long, gives 100 Thieves the idea that the Guard is still sticking around. They haven't heard anything anywhere else on the map.
I think the Guard, honestly, are a bit reluctant. Try and move somewhere else, create some extra pressure. They've lost a lot of map control.
I think here the question becomes, does 100 Thieves read the play coming through as the Sage Wall drops? Sage Wall drops, here comes a fake. This is probably going to be a B hit. And Net can potentially save this Rolling Thunder for the post plant.
Line through, Smoker looking to get connected. There's the nade into the back of Gong, and a nice little satchel play as well. A lot of space being gained, but it's ready and waiting. Absorbed, no, the paranoia, it misses. And still returns and manages to get the kill.
And there's the Rolling Thunder gone.
Right into the back angle though. 1 shot, 2 shots. Trent, you've got to be kidding me. Rattles them off, but is left alone to Valen. 1v2 position, slightly known. Stella with the better gun. The Vandal does the job.
There's damage done from the Guard on their bonus. But in the end, 100 Thieves able to mop up that aggression in the C-Link. I still think, though, that was demonstrating very good mid-rounding by Valen.
Yeah, I think that this map is honestly his playground when I think about it.
Yeah, the decision there to pivot away from the A re-hit at the perfect time to sell it allowed them instant access onto B. And had they kept Net alive, this round would have been even more dangerous with the Rolling Thunder alive. But okay, anti-bonus secured for 100 Thieves. It has done some damage to the economy. But Will, with the tour de force, will fill in pretty much all of the gaps there.
He's being pushed up on just that C angle. Nice little fault line in the smoke. But no presence towards A lobby outside of it. Instead, it's mid that's being played by the Guard.
And 100 Thieves have some serious decisions to make in this round, because there's a Rolling Thunder and a Nightfall available for the Guard. You want to force them out, but you don't want to get caught by them.
Trademark off into the corner. That is King. We're aware of this one. Out of Rolling Thunder, though.
Doesn't catch Will.
Yeah, scatters off to the side. That's going to be a flash on top of it, and great timing from Jonah P. The backstab is there.
Perfect timing.
Over towards the bottom side of C Long. Valen as well. Dodging and weaving, but it's a triple face. Derek, a nice swing. Good cancellation there of the movement as well. He finds the headshot onto Jonah P. And now the rest of his team going to be backing him up. But another play being made by the guard here. Look at them. All of them working to try and re-clear the back of the site here. Side play is in danger though. That's going to be the Seasonade combo. How does he get a kill? Pressure was on, and still he returns with the fire.
That's 2 players at least caught in the Nightfall. In fact, it is. You can see the trail on the ground. That means, yeah, both of the 100 Thieves players here trying to go for the retake just have no opportunity to be able to, I mean, even tell whether they're getting flanked. Go for it in any degree.
When all the sound cues are cut off like that, you just can't do anything but play. Give it the time to roll down, try and take those guns away. For the guard, claim another.
But both big ultimates forced out, and I think 100 Thieves can be fairly happy about that. The big problem is that their economy's in shambles. And Will's already used his tour de force and didn't really find too much out of it. And I can tell you this chamber battle is going to be one to keep an eye on. Jonah P, his only kill was there onto Will, the little pinch play that he made around onto C Cubby. But like I said, he was electric when the guard played against FaZe.
It was a level of performance that you rarely see from players who are forced to spread themselves so thin across so many roles, but...
Both rifles making their way down mid here, an aggressive look from 100 Thieves, maximizing the value of the only 2 hero rifles they have.
They're taking a fight, making sure that he can try and clear out some of that utility. Look at the boom bot, the pressure was on and it ended up bouncing right back into them. Damage done though, spammed out. Shredder goes down to a shot from Stella.
What a nasty little peek from Stella. Working off the fact that Asner and Derek were attracting all of the attention with the B push, and now 100 Thieves can just drop back. This round could start to get very dangerous. Derek's in a position, a backside here. If he doesn't get cleared with utility, he might be able to find and disrupt this hit.
Hey, aftershock. Gonna lock up the connectors. Bit of a satchel play. Takes out a rendezvous, but now look at that paranoia play. Derek, he's been set up to succeed. Still alive at the back of the side. In fact, he's got teammates to back him up. But instantly, the call is made. We're rotating. We're taking this one to C. There needs to be some sort of presence here. Trademark off to the side. Even that wall. It's a difficult situation. Nightfall moves across now. Jonah P can't hear a bloody thing. Even the Trademark slowing him down. The guy is just a sitting duck right now.
30 seconds left.
If we drop down, it needs to be a hero moment. It needs to be a hero play.
100 Thieves looking great to be able to convert this one. Asna with the trade. Will finding another kill. And 100 Thieves get their retake off.
They're not letting that one slip out of their hands. The player advantage.
What a great thrifty as well. Asna and Derek, the only players with rifles heading into the round. But it's Stella that finds them the opener. The Sheriff peek out through garage. Looked like a beautiful shot. Didn't quite see it from his POV.
Good game plans all around as well. I think from 100 Thieves carrying the rifles forwards, looking for the advantages in mid, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it was a really good game plan.
That's what it's probably going to take, honestly. Just curating little things to try and throw guard off, because the map that they are more than comfortable of. You don't expect a player to be anchoring at the back of here. You really don't.
It's not a meta position to play. There are some teams that do it. We saw EDG doing it earlier on. But for Derek to have fallen back into that spot, to find the timing for Bang to Paranoia, it's all just beautifully coordinated from 100 Thieves. C's nade combo into A lobby. Not going to find anybody as the rest of the guard leaning towards the C split.
Yeah, just backing away, and it's going to be cleared out there with a Prowler, flash over the top, and the Prowler. It's all comboed up to make sure that they can take that garage control easily enough. Now a nade and a showstopper.
You want to play? Let's play.
No players, though, vacating the premises. They don't want to play into this one.
Yeah, this one opens up the site. Jonah P hopping off his tour de force here as well, and Valen fake ulting there. Making it feel like that he's gone behind them. You have to check the back.
Play aggressive, though, is the nature, is the name of the game. But this time absorbed. 100 Thieves seem ready for it. They know that God love to be proactive in terms of taking this space and still trying to hold down the angles with these rifles. Derek coming from the sidelines. Slam dunks it down. 3 kills in the round.
What a retake. 100 Thieves retakes versus the Guards post plants. It feels like this has been the story almost of the series.
And I love, Josh, I love these micro adjustments. They know that the Guard love to be proactive in terms of taking space when they get in these post plants. They know that they love to play aggressive. That round you saw 100 Thieves just playing back here. Asna's holding a showstopper, ready and waiting, lets it rip.
You fought one enemy remaining.
It just looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
100 Thieves heading into this match had an absurd retake win rate, 46%. I mean, that's bonkers. You're letting the enemy team get the spike down and you still win pretty much half the time. And especially against Guards who look weak in those post-plant situations, it's just been dominant here today.
Guard forced down. Lower money, Jiggle Peak. I love the timing of that swing. Jiggle into the wide. Guaranteed to force back the player, so Will no longer able to be posted up, has to return for the heal, and it is going to be a bit of a freebie. The A site, as for the taking, Trent. Oh,
Trent dodged a Prowler, and now he's got a time.
Everything into mid! Shots rattled off, but eventually finds it. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, but a kill is a kill.
Derek uses a Prowler just to give him a timing to commit to the retake, and it looks like 100 Thieves are going to try this one fast. Like I said, they're 50-50 for them at the moment. But this time, they have a massive economy advantage. Down a player, however.
Timing on that is good. Moving the ball here, and Valen, close and personal. And for one, still the trade. Rifles could be the difference maker. And indeed, Derek leading the charge. Shoulder P. Headhunter just chamber things. 3 bullets rattled away. Will with the operator in his hands. It's not the right tool for the job. With time running so low, decision is made. Backing away.
Trent's gonna hunt.
Enemy remaining. Thrifty.
Trent's gonna give his life away.
Yeah.
Punish for that one, and it's a thrifty round win for for the Guard there. As they get themselves back into the lead. So a thrifty for either team so far on Haven. And that's a pretty massive one. Like we were just talking about, 100 Thieves retakes have been excellent, but Trent finding that timing past the Prowler in mid is going to force a timeout out of the coaching staff. And listen, 100 Thieves here are on the precipice. This would be the map if they're able to keep this up and stay even with the Guard and, you know, come out to a win in their defensive half as they have done on the prior two. If 100 Thieves are able to win this and end up going to Champions, they've got a lot of things going for them. And one of the big advantages they have that should make people confident that they can perform on the international stage, which didn't happen with Guard or XSET, one of their advantages is this coaching staff.
Absolutely.
They've been phenomenal after these timeouts. They're great when it comes to prep work as well. I think Sean, Mike, DDK have really proven themselves in terms of how they've been able to turn this team with those diamonds in the rough into potentially the third best team in North America.
Yeah.
They've still got to close it, but they're looking good at the moment.
And these players, they've been polished, man, to that impeccable standard, I think. Molded into real heavy hitters now. It does feel ever so slightly different. Still one map away from denying Guard that opportunity of redemption on the global stage after Reykjavik.
So what is going to shift after the timeout? That's the big question. And I'm just looking at Asana's positioning here. Will picking up the operator, going for a play over towards A. This kind of setup is going to allow him some information towards A, but it's not the best. He's going to know if anybody peeks short, obviously, and he has a trademark watching his back, but the rest of the team heavily gambling that this is going to be a C-split kind of round, and I think they're right. You look at the way that Valen's moving around here with the spike, and it seems like they want to take garage control. And all of this utility that the Guard are using here, the Prowler, the smoke, it doesn't really affect 100 Thieves setup at all. It doesn't deny them any info. Will can continue to set the rest of his team up. Asana goes for a reactive play down C long. Derek again in that position, anchoring at back B. There are so many dangerous spots here for 100 Thieves after the timeout.
And this time, doesn't exactly have the support of the rest of his team.
Oh, what a read!
The back and the stun.
What a read!
And the C's. It's all comboed up. They know he's playing in that position. And you're right, Josh. It's a great read. Great bit of adaptation on the fly that's being made here.
That took the Nightfall out of the picture as well. And just perfect. But the counterplay now being made. Does Jonah P hear the smoke? Yeah, I think he did.
Aware of the flank that was coming. The trademark smoked off. And it has, again, put a bit of uncertainty into the round, but it is safe hands. Side player at the bottom of mid. Cleans up Bang, who was that other player who was flanking, and now just left up to Will and Stella. Again, opting into saving. running away.
And that is a really great read from the guard, and just an overall handling of this round. And I believe that's the first time in the series that 100 Thieves have failed to go on a streak after a timeout. Will nearly losing the operator there as well. That would have been tragic, given he only has 100 credits. But yeah, the guard with a fantastic performance coming out of the back of that. And they've managed to plant the spike every round. And 100 Thieves are great at the retakes, but after the pistol, they are 3 and 3 for it.
Yeah, listen, they're not 100% when it comes to the retakes.
And the point is, 100 Thieves being 46%, nearly 50% on the retakes is fabulous because they're also winning rounds by denying the plant going down and just getting the kills. So you get all of those retake round wins and some extra wins as well.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're not getting those extra wins. They're just relying on retakes.
Haven't seen much of it.
And already this is going to be a much better start to the map for the guard. 5 on the board is better than they were able to on either of the previous maps. And that is what we expected. The guard just looked amazing in the series against FaZe. Should power them up with some level of confidence.
God, is so grouped up right now. Top side of A. It is waiting. Seeing if anybody oversteps themselves. And if a Prowler from 100 Thieves is going to try and re-clear mid, get some space information potentially, but it expires.
And you can see the Asuna positioning seems to be trying to read, like a hard read on where the guard are going to commit.
Yeah.
But Valor's IGLing is really dynamic on this map.
The team is ready at a moment's notice to pivot and change directions, change course. Not set in stone when they have a game plan. That's going to be an ult from Bang for information.
This time Asuna has the right read. The spike is heading right towards him, and he has a stinger at the choke point.
Nightfall as well. Little double satchel play to try and dash the way through. Even a nade, but the team is supporting. And they are being crunched. 100 Thieves, they get the right read on it still. Be winning out these shots right now, and Bang, a bit of a spray down for them, but right through the wall, Derek's got his back. This time they denied the plan. This time, stop it from getting into that post plant.
Yeah, the first time that they've managed it on Haven. With, like I said, a bit of a hard read. 100 Thieves coming out of the timeout have been going for setups where Will is able to hold A on his own, essentially.
Yeah.
And I don't think the guard have got the read on that yet. They might start to as they notice that Asuna and Derek are not on A. And that might prompt the guard to go for some kind of aggressive A push. As you see them grouped around A lobby right now. The mind games between both of these two IGLs and the coaching staff certainly playing out here. But this is one of the rounds where Derek is actually supporting Will. And the Prowler might make the guard worried that they've got the wrong read.
Was Haunt on the corner. Yeah, the guard actually putting bodies now behind this approach. Jiggle peek, Will. Comes into the angle still, now a Nightfall, but disrespect is being shown. Of course, he's got that rendezvous. Get out of there, back to safety. Now from the high ground. Derek's holding that Seize, I believe, waiting for the plant noise. There's the seed, locks up onto 2 players. TP to try and disrupt and get out of there. Running around the box, just dodging the line of side angle, so no damage going to be taken from that combo.
Teleport's ready.
Let's see how good the retakes are.
Online here, 4 net. What's the play? What needs to be made? Alt Valen repositioning is actually into hell. And here we go with the Prowler, double satchel play, right up into the sky. Like clay pigeon shooting. Tire player easily deals with his mark. And it's just too disjointed from 100 Thieves. Stella just could not get through the choke point. Utility being used, but now they're just running and gunning. Desperation at play. Down to the 1v1. Stella, he could be able to make this work. A tap on a spike, and he wins it out.
Absurd performance from Stella.
Insane.
What a clutch.
Just no world really when you're favored like that. The crosshair placement was impeccable to try and deny Stella.
How did they make that one work? Just Bang and Stella muscling their way back into the site, pushing through a smoke, trading out. I mean, both players, Bang and Stella, got 140'd. As in, they got headshots, but the guard players were playing with a Phantom, so it didn't actually work. Oh, look at Asuna as well. These guys are getting hyped, they're getting pumped.
And they can feel it.
They are one map away from making it to champs. And sure, it's not the same level of lead that they've had in the previous first halves, but they'll take it.
Even footing. Guard leaning. Bodies this time over towards C, looking like a C split as well. Contacting Risks being taken, of course. Very much spotted out. It's good information to take into at least the final round of the half.
What an insane previous round that was. To reset the economy. Put 100 Thieves in a position where they should at least have 6 defensive rounds.
Players are swarming this position right now. They've got a good idea of where these players might be landing. Do they expect this?
This is what the Guard were doing previously a lot, and it looks like Asna's read it.
Yep. The nade up close. Asna as well. Just make sure that he follows up. This is something that the Guard are doing all the time, posting up a player.
That is an anti-strat there. A tendency noticed. And Asna's just bunny hopping around trying to get the rest of the info. That's the advantage of being able to prep for your opponent. And 100 Thieves are just so good at it.
Backing away with just the pistols. 30 seconds into this round now for the Guard.
30 seconds left.
Looks like it will be given a relatively free A site. Player is close, other than Derek making sure that he plays a very passive angle up close. And now, as soon as he hears that util coming through, the ball is going to be made. Great swings from him. The readjustment of his aim. 3 in the round. Asna to clean up.
Derek's been amazing. Prime gaming flawless as Derek and Asna close it out.
Last round.
They've been the 2 best players for 100 Thieves today. And Bang not even required to play his best Valorant. 3-9 right now. He's playing fine. He's had some great moments, but not up at the top of the scoreboard because the rest of 100 Thieves are just hitting.
Yeah.
Maybe something like plus 27 against FaZe. Bang. But just not even needed to have that level of performance today.
Across the board, I think 100 Thieves are coming to this one with just feeling it, I think.
Yeah.
The precipice. Sometimes you just wake up, the warm-up scrim goes well. That's what happens. What Valen was talking about it, honestly. The back of their win versus FaZe.
This now becomes almost a must-win round for the Guard, I think. Their defensive half is fantastic, so wouldn't count them out even if they go into this one 5-7 down. So I suppose by very definition, not a must-win round. But
yeah, I just contradicted yourself.
Getting any is so important. Oh, Will finding the first pick. The chamber battle is just going so consistently in his direction.
Magnificent. Still the showstopper against the walls. Enough to deal with Stellar. In fact, removes a couple of chunks of it. Return. Oh, not quite latching. Players are there, ready to shut down the approach. See how hard 100 Thieves are fighting to deny the post plants this time around.
And the reason I thought this round was so important is because it just gives such a psychological advantage heading into the next. I mean, the Guard have their backs against the wall. And sure, their defensive half is great on this map. But it's going to be an uphill battle if they lose the pistol. It's just going to feel like running uphill.
And you're already 2 maps down as well. Worst feeling.
30 seconds left.
And remember, yeah, a 2v4 where they have no particular map control and the Guard are just going to have to pivot and hope that they hit some nasty shots. You know, the last time that the Guard played Haven in a BO5, it was when they beat OpTic to make it to Masters. That was the crucial round that decided it.
10 seconds
This would be devastating if they weren't able to convert the map that they're most favored on here against 100 Thieves.
Spike planted.
Winning this 2v4 would be huge to give the morale boost heading into the next half. They have a chance.
Yeah, post plants can be played, but all of this comes down to timing. All of this comes down to duels that are being taken. What can the Guard get done? Valen and Trent, they can't play off of each other here. 100 Thieves have got the better numbers, and already you can see the positioning. Asuna has worked his way in. Now a deeper smoke, TP play to try and get into this one. They have to be worried about this. The drop down, is the follow-up there? Yes, bang! Getting the spray down, horns up close, it's gonna get broken. And Asuna with that, gonna take the lead in this half, 7-5. Be in the scoreline, 100 Thieves, they set themselves up for almost one fell swoop.
What a crazy uphill battle it's going to be for the Guard to try and get back into this. The defensive half did look great, but is it going to be enough?
Is it going to be enough? That is the question. A short break for the halftime on the other side of things. Will we see 100 Thieves take it, or is the Guard capable of bringing us to that map number 4? 100 Thieves now so close to another sweep in these BO5s, on the verge of it all. The roster was blown up back in April as well. It was a high risk move. With that comes high rewards, and I think almost justified now with it.
Absolutely. That decision will be utterly vindicated if they're able to convert here. One step away from being able to make their first appearance at Champions with this roster. Asna getting his repeat shot back on the stage. The defensive half was so good for the guard. They need
pressure. Straight into it, Asana. He contains it, but it is that 1-for-1. Trent still ready and waiting. But it's the jumping right click.
Valorant moment.
And even if Stella went down, even if it happened, guess what? The rest of 100 Thieves already up A-long, already taken positioning onto the site. The wall dropped down.
And the pistol rounds
to get through, man.
The pistol rounds have been looking good for 100 Thieves. God, they're going to be in such a bad position if 100 Thieves are able to convert this one, and they have great performances in pistols, in post plans, with player advantages. Everything says 100 Thieves should be taking this.
Yeah, A-long position pains. Down into the corner, Jonah P. Lovely little duel that's being taken. Now it's down to the 2v2. Players up onto the side here, Paranoia.
That was so good.
Pushes back around though. Will holding with his back to the wall. Left alone to Valen. And he can't come up with the goods.
100 Thieves with the pistol. And the guard are put in such a terrible spot. Look at them buying up the Spectres. This is so dangerous.
It's so risky.
Didn't get the plant money.
So risky.
The guard are in a spot right now where they'll be talking to each other and saying, listen, we either accept that we go down 9-5 and try and claw our way back with a 4-round deficit. We know our defensive half is good. Do we want to rely on winning gun rounds? And instead, they've decided to go for the force buy. But the difference between full armor and light armor on these rounds can be everything. With Spectres in play. And the guard looking like they want to go aggressive in mid. Prodding it for just a moment there with side player and Trent, but have decided to back up.
Has to be a conversion for the guard. Don't get the extra money from the spike plan on the defense side.
You heard Mel talk about it on the desk before the map began. The guard like to play aggressive in mid. They know that that's the right move to make. But 100 Thieves are going to be expecting it.
Angles, shots, whiffed. Jonah just getting out of there. 3 health. He will not fall.
And here you might see Jonah, the guard go for a reactive play. Pushing down mid, pushing down C. And it's going to be a full A retake.
Yeah.
With the armor disadvantage. They've already used Paranoia. Or perhaps couldn't even afford it, actually. That's the more likely situation.
Battle, though, Josh. This battle at A lobby right now is everything. The footsteps are heard. The Paranoia is uploaded. They've lined up for it. Asuna, he collects it. 2-for-1 trade. More than favorable. Jonah P's taken out from the high ground. And it's just down to Valen and Net. A huge gamble to invest into this round. One that's just about to backfire. Cool, calm, and collected is the feeling across the board from 100 Thieves. The aim is on point, and the players, they can feel it. The momentum there.
That round should be the dagger to the heart of the guard. They forced into it. They put all of their eggs in that round 14 basket. And the team play from 100 Thieves off the back of Bang and Asana there just destroys that flank retake that was going on. 100 Thieves have got such a great read on what the guards are doing.
Yeah.
They're always in the right spot. Remember that this team has only been around for 4 months, and they've made massive improvements in that time. Come such a long way. And Jonah P, though, opening things up there. He was a monster last time on the defense side, but he hasn't quite had the same level of impact. The guard need him online.
The pressure is on. He needs to step up. It has to be done. A wide swing forces the rendezvous, but look at this. Still a position being played by Trent. And again, re-pushing up. Contact pushing to try and re-clear up into A-long here from the guard. And timing is everything. No one was spotted there. Said mid is going to be played by 100 Thieves.
How close do they get before utility gives it away? They're going to get into the site. No trademark being played. And 100 Thieves are afforded some pretty decent position. Net now worried that he's getting pushed. In fact, he is. But that's a crazy shot.
Ridiculous flick. A lot of health to his name. Being sandwiched though. Bang. Finding here, working his way forwards to spray down the players at the bottom of mid. Dust. Now just down to Trent. Smoke drop down. He's got a Prowler, Spectre.
And the plant position is so difficult to try and stick this one.
Surely just going to be the double swing.
He can isolate the 1v1s.
He's isolated one. 15 health, not enough. Not enough. Great swing by Stellar into it. 10 rounds for 100 Thieves. 3 more to find their way to make their mark, to stand shoulder to shoulder of all the other competitors at Istanbul.
And 100 Thieves have had Asuna, Derek playing phenomenally this series. But Stellar, the IGL, has woken up and is putting on a really solid performance. A star-level performance in this map. Able to win multiple clutches, and he's been rock solid for them. I think that's 7 rounds in a row now for 100 Thieves, after the guard got up to, I think, a 5-3 lead. I mean, 100 Thieves have just been unable to be stopped. I mean, you can see it there, actually, yeah. Ever since round 9, 100 Thieves have just been dominant. And I think that was 1 round after they took their timeout. The guard won 1 round after the timeout, and then 7 in a row for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
So, you know, not exactly the same pattern, but fairly similar. The guard now taking one of their own. The rifles will be on board, but they need this.
The ults come online. Either side really on the cusp as well. Big tools that could be in play. Trying to run away from that Nightfall. That could be a bit of a difference maker, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of play to opt into trying to play over any of these orbs.
Chamber battle looks like it might be happening over towards C. At the same time, this bit of a lobby control is worked by 100 Thieves. Asuna so unafraid of any utility here. Has gotten very deep down A long.
So deep.
He's going to be a pivot player late in the round if this C hit doesn't work. Jonah P has an opportunity for impact, but misses the first.
Got to hit these shots, man. Asuna has been dealt with, though. There's a re-clear down into a long. Paranoia into the back. So they're still there. Surely you don't disrespect this one. He's still, but he waiting, leaves it to the final moment, Trent! What a spray down! The reposition, the jump up, the skip and a hop onto logs, eventually dealt with. Side control is gained, but it's that 2v4. The off angle, the double satchel play, even the stun as well to supplement.
No way!
Stella gets 2, but it's returned.
Squeaky there for the guard. Ooh. But it was a nice retake. Good movement by Sire player. Stella just found a couple of kills out of nowhere and made me scared for that one. But the guard draw it back within 4. And they've got some room to work with. They've got to start getting the momentum going. And they've actually kept 100 Thieves honest in some of these prior rounds. So 100 Thieves might not be able to get a goodbye together. What a spray by Trent. Oh, that one's crazy by Stella that he got that 2k.
Players ended up helping though. That's going to be...
Yeah, and in fact, 100 Thieves are going to have to take a bit of an eco here.
Force back, yeah.
Only Stella with a hero rifle. And you know, normally I wouldn't want it on Stella. I'd want it on Asuna or Derek, but Stella's been hitting so far this game.
Prowler is going to be a connection. Util. Exchange there into A lobby, smoke into mid. That's a disrespect. Yeah, just going to be jumping through it now, making sure that they retake control of this one. Of course, a weaker economy on the side of 100 Thieves, so they're happy to just make sure that they take these risks. Nade into the back. Rear Haunt as well, making sure that they clear every possible angle. Now Asuna playing up close and personal.
I love this play. With the Sage Wall coming through, you don't expect 100 Thieves to be fighting over a link.
Nade off to the side, now the Rolling Thunder, but they don't expect it! Showstopper against the wall! Satchel readjusted the positioning. It doesn't quite get the kill. It does damage to the whole of them, but eventually they cleaned up. Now, down. The 3 of them, a bit of attack onto the spike. There's no weapons to really span this through. It comes down to the raw heroics. It needs to be fight 1, and it needs to be now. God can start sticking this one.
And Will was trying to go for that lurk play up through garage, got spotted. And essentially, Jonah P did the damage by just keeping him engaged for that length of time.
Yeah.
The guard are starting to put stuff together here. But that one was a bit of a gimme. That was the eco round for 100 Thieves. Now the guard are asked another question. Are you able to win another gun round? Can you get something online here? Trent with a Nightfall is definitely an ult that they can play the defense around. And in general, actually, the guard have been going for Jonah P positioned over on C.
Yeah.
He's been getting deep down C cover. That's not what he's going for this time. Mirroring somewhat of a setup that we saw from Will on 100 Thieves defensive half. When C's made, we've seen this one before.
Bang's ready though.
Good disengage.
Yeah.
But look how active Trent and Sire player are. They're immediately pivoting over and re-pushing C.
A deep push. Information gathered for them, and again, it's going to be the mid play.
Valen hasn't left the C site, despite the fact that he's got 2 players pushed really deep up, so this is a full retake setup.
Yeah, so far back now, they don't want to be taking any risks. Against the wall, though, Asuna finds it. Showstopper value, net removed from the fight. You're not going to have any of that utility to try and play that retake.
Triple flank.
And this could be massive. They're just trying to clear every single possible position in their spawn. This, that, and the other. Stella still on the side play, but still they need to deal with the remainder of these players now. Derek, he is being swarmed. It's a bit of run and gun action. Trent, shot found with the Vandal.
Oh, what a
into the head. Paranoia, though, that disrupts it, but still, they are getting the kills.
Jonah P is pushing from the A link here.
He wants to the side. Bang, holding that close angle. Stella helps him. Right from mid, straight down, and it's up to Jonah. The 11th one claimed for 100 Thieves. An important round for them to try and make their mark in. Again, one step closer.
That could have been 100 Thieves on the ropes. The guard starting to get some momentum going, and instead, it's just flipped completely on its head. The guard cannot catch a break in this series. They cannot win these important economic swing rounds. And 100 Thieves punish them again. That triple flank play getting red, 100 Thieves controlling the pace of it, beautifully absorbing all of that aggression. There's only 2 rifles on board here for the guard, one of them on Trent, who was looking to push down mid for a moment.
Just backing away. Again, you see that utility being exchanged. Boom put down into A short, making sure that they clear it out. Now a re-push here from the guard.
Both teams with similar but kind of mirrored approaches. Whereas we saw Will holding complete control on A and the rest of his team gamble stacking C, it's the opposite approach from the guard. Jonah P controls C, garage, and it's a 4-player stack over on A. The guard love pushing up to A lobby. Normally it's off the rip.
It was being watched by Derek, but Yule ends up getting one there by Trent. Now Paranoia. Their faces slow on. They can't quite swing into this one. A resurrect, and they're fighting over it. Space still being gained. Eventually the trade, still down to that 4v4, and guess what, bang, well he's repositioned, that ult from Pryor, it's a tight squeeze, drops down, takes enough damage that eventually full damage will do the job, but it's up to Ned to see if he can push back this relentless force. Sees locks him into position, no more sound cues for him, he doesn't know if they're approaching the site.
Jonah P needs to get here quickly, Net is under crazy pressure.
Doesn't have time to reload, has to reposition. Fight being won there by Will, and it's up to Jonah P now.
He missed the timing.
He does miss it entirely. Drops down onto the ground, but Derek, a 90-degree flick. One Thunder bullet to the head will do the job.
Match point.
And 100 Thieves get 1 round away from making it to Champions, from booking their tickets to Istanbul. OpTic, XSET, they're already thinking about boot camping for champs, and 100 Thieves on the precipice of joining them. This team got blown up in April and put together. They weren't quite able to make it to Copenhagen, but they peaked just in time for that last chance. There were no guarantees with Nadeshot making this decision, but it's paid off beautifully. Vindication.
It's on the cusp, isn't it? Diamond in the rough. Players polished to that impeccable standard.
And the guard going for another one of these triple pushes, this time down C. They have not found value. 100 Thieves have been able to mop it up every time.
This trademark position, it's out in the open. There's no smoking this one off. You want to get past it, you have to break it.
And it's such a rough buy as well. The guard with 3 Spectres, a Guardian in play. 100 Thieves are primed to take it right here.
You smoke from Valen actually to try and feign that they would be pushing past this one, but 100 Thieves have already got the players in position, and Sire player. There's that high-risk play. Guardian in his hands. Will remove from the fight.
100 Thieves look like they're going to contact into C, and there's nobody home.
Sire player's got an ever so slight angle that might just be able to read its way into this one, and he spotted it. Information gathered. Knows the players are there, but the wall's up now. The plant's going to start to go down, and this could be it. This could be the final moment.
Sire player trying to break the wall here. 100 Thieves to 45. They converted it last round. And Derek gets them back dead even. Takes down the star player.
Push back the guard players. A real big ultimates to try and carry the way through. It has to be the utility combos. It has to be the fundamentals. Swinging through. Jonah P wins the fight. The aftershock pushes them into positions. It's a favorable fight to take. Spike still down though. Gonna be a bit of a whiff there onto the smoke, but now the spike starting to be defused. The fight's being won, but it's down to the wire for them. Bang! Tries to spray it. But the guard, they claw through.
And it's not going to be now. The guard not going quietly. 100 Thieves, though, still only a round away. And every one of these close rounds is going to continue to inflict economic damage upon the guard and make them more and more difficult. The guard, though, getting a better buy than the previous. But they have got to be perfect for the rest of this map. And remember, guard came into this series, this BO5, with double map bans and looking incredible on Haven.
Fight.
Quite a weak map for the guard, for 100 Thieves.
In mid, it looks like there is going to be that presence. Doubled up from the players. Car is going to be broken. That was holding that fault line right into all the players, and it's a rolling thunder play. They want to disrupt this one. They want to go aggressive. Deep smoke from guard straight into mid. Maybe a bit of miscommunication there. They couldn't quite follow up on all of this damage. In fact, Will is down to a nade.
Caught in the corner there off the back of the rolling thunder. But Net's going to get challenged.
Net is everything here. This angle is not being played quite well, but there is the paranoia to help him out. One's on top of it, a bit of a spray down with the Phantom. Backwards and forwards. 100 Thieves down to the two players, Bang and Derek. Again, work their way into C. They have the positioning, but they do not have that player advantage.
Derek and Bang have been nasty in the clutch, especially Derek. Best clutcher honestly, best clutcher in North America it's looking like at the moment. Of course, OpTic and XSET not playing in the tournament. One way, refreshed by Bang. Derek's got an opportunity for an angle, but scouted out.
Balance ults removed almost instantaneously. Retake has got to be clean, and there is the pressure being applied. Squeeze from both the angles. No mistakes being made from the guard, and they put another one on the board. A desperate dream, a desperate attempt to try and bring this map to OT.
100 Thieves' economy is going to start getting squeezed at some point here, and the guard, they've won the most difficult rounds. With the scrappy buy, with the low armor. 100 Thieves now have a decision to make. Do you try to force? And I think this is a great time to use their final timeout of regulation.
Yeah. I think the money situation is running a little bit low on certain players on 100 Thieves.
And remember that 100 Thieves do have a very inexperienced roster, you could say. It's kind of tough to keep that in your head with how great some of these people have been on both teams. But to start the year, it's only really Sire player, Asuna, and you could kind of say Derek out of all of the 10 players that were known quantities at the top level.
Sure.
And sometimes this year we've seen that inexperience rear its head and 100 Thieves fail to close out a lead like this. They cannot allow that to happen. The coaches will just be resetting the emotions at play here and giving them a solid game plan to close out one attacking round. They only need one.
Just one. The buffer is not good for the guard to bring this to OT. And historically, these timeouts, they've been more than impactful in game-changing for 100 Thieves.
And with how well the individuals have been playing, you only need one moment.
Yeah.
You know, an Asuna round, a Bang round. Stella's been amazing. Derek with the clutch. Will has been playing some of his best in these last couple of series where 100 Thieves have clean swept the BO5s. You only need one player to go crazy.
And it's these rounds that are scariest for the guard.
It's again the hero rifles on Asuna, on Derek. Danger men for 100 Thieves.
Low orbs. We send flying. And an attempt is made by 100 Thieves. Prowlers to try and clear through into short A. Did end up expiring just a little bit beforehand, so it's not going to clear that close corner. Jiggle peaks abound, but still they want to play fast and aggressive. The paranoid Jonah P, he's just biding his time. Ready and waiting, has to respect it though. The TP back.
It's a showstopper at the back.
Showstopper, Sire player going for the fast flank, the pass, wrap around, a bit of running gun, bang! How do you get that one? Eventually it's traded out, but 100 Thieves, they are doing the damage, they are doing the work, Josh. Another a play, another attempt. short control of aggression and out of Nightfall to try and supplement. You can feel the pressures on right now with the horns as well. Stella, only the Sheriff, flashed up, fully blind, rattling off one after the other. Will finds it, it's down to Ned. The whiff of the shot, the rifle in his hands. It comes down to this. All on the line, all for Istanbul in the double face. Well finish it. 100 Thieves are going to Istanbul.
Welcome to Champions. Welcome back to international play. 100 Thieves. Asuna getting another opportunity to compete with and against the best in the world. And for the rest of these players, the other 4, what a glow up it has been in these last 4 months.
Absolutely astonishing stuff. The evolution of this team has just been second to none, honestly. There were many parallels that we were drawing between the Guard and 100 Thieves coming into this. The structure, the coaching staff, the young, inexperienced players at times as well being molded. But it's 100 Thieves who end up claiming the grand finals in a 3-0 sweep.
And that means that you're going to get a new roster once again representing North America. And it hasn't gone well in the past. The Guard, XSET turned up and flopped at international events before. But this team is looking in rare form right now. Crazy clutcher. Asuna has experience before. World-class coaching staff, world-class controller play from Bang, although it didn't demonstrate it as much in this series. I think there's reason to be hopeful with 100 Thieves playing like this. They smoked the best of the rest in these last 2 BO5s.
Something's different with this team, honestly. Something's different. The prep work that's gone into this, the players are feeling themselves. They're on an absolute heater. But that's going to do it for North American LCQ. Of course, a short break in our analyst desk is going to break down that grand finals and set it all up. So don't go anywhere. You know you don't want to miss it, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
We have to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30.
I've already told everyone.
Wait, did you say Verizon for just $30?
It's their best unlimited price ever.
$30? That's awesome. Yeah, and it's from the most reliable 5G network in America.
For $30 a line, I'm switching now.
Yeah, it's easy. And you get $960 when you switch the whole family.
Wow, I gotta let my buddies know.
We're already here.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.
Well, let me tell you, it's been one hell of a month for the 100 Thieves organization. First, they win a world championship in another esport, and now they find themselves at VALORANT Champions with a 3-0 sweep over the Guard, the team that everyone was talking about in the upper bracket, but the real story was happening in the mud, in the lower bracket, and 100 Thieves had grown exponentially over the course of this time, and now they find themselves heading to Istanbul.
I mean, what a run from 100 Thieves. Every single day of the second week of the LCQ, 100 Thieves had to play back-to-back-to-back-to-back matches, and somehow, someway, they still looked better every single time. The preparation, the improvement between games for this 100 Thieves roster is absolutely impeccable. They came in looking rough to stage 2. They came in looking rough to this tournament, but they fixed those issues, and now they're headed to Istanbul.
And honestly, credit to Stellar's calling as well. I feel like he was calling an insane match. Everyone was also popping off on all cylinders, and looking at that, you really thought Guard had a chance, and it feels like 100 Thieves took that personal. They took that, and they're like, okay, you guys think Guard's really good?
Yeah.
We're going to 3-0, and we're not even going to make it close. We're not even to get to double digits. We're going to destroy them.
Yeah, and you know, we were really harping 100 Thieves for the mid-game adaptations, right? We wanted to see them really start to hone that in, and it really felt like that came to fruition here, Mimi. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, you see, in this round, first of all, it looks like Guard is shut down, right? It's a B hit there, and 100 Thieves reads that, but then we come back in, and the read goes the other way. Guard realized that Derek's playing backside pretty much every round. They punish him there, but then 100 Thieves, the very next round after that one, managed to come back and find the punish.
And here they have a trap set up perfectly. Aston is playing close, and here Guard was trying to go A early, but they literally have 4 people here anticipating that they were going to go B.
Yeah, I mean, the adaptations have just been so impressive from this squad throughout the series, not allowing the Guard to get to double digits on a single one of those maps as they complete the 3-0. Not only do they dominate phase, but they come in and they win another best out of 5 in 3-0 fashion. It was incredible, and Stellar as an individual, not only was the calling great, but he was stepping up big time. This is one of those teams where, sure, there's stars. Sure, you have Derek, you have Austin, you have these big guys, but everyone has their massive moments.
Yeah, you know, the IGL for this team really, you know, coming in spades for this squad, right? 250 ACS, 2.5 KD. But not only that, the calls were fantastic as well. And that's the part that, you know, Stellar cares way more about, Mel, especially as an IGL yourself. It's nice to pop off and have good stats, but you want to be able to make the calls right in game.
And he did that. He did both flawlessly, it felt like. And he made it look easy, too. This is a grand final of LCQ. Whoever wins this goes to champ. Whoever loses, everything was for naught. It's literally the most high-pressure situation. And he's fragging and IGLing in the most crucial series of the entire tournament.
Yeah, you honestly could not have asked for a better run for your team if you are a 100 Thieves fan. But let's take a gander, though, at the Prime Gaming match highlights. A series overall. We came into this matchup thinking that this one was the potential to be a gigabanger. We thought that it could go Game 5. Both teams running parallel courses, Mimi, as improvement was on the horizon for both squads here. But it really was 100 Thieves' story. They were the stars. They were the ones telling their tale.
I mean, we started off on Icebox here, and this is where both me and Mel thought this would be Guard's map. They've been playing the double controller here. It has looked excellent, but 100 Thieves come in with an impeccable game plan closeout. And I mean, after this map, I was just thinking, oh no, it's a series against FaZe again. They win Icebox, they win their opponents. It's a solid map, and they're just going to keep hounding this through. And that they did. Map number 2, this was Austin's playground.
And he was so dynamic on that role, and the setups that were called around him were brilliant. The macro calling on finding out what gaps and what areas that Guard wasn't defaulting and taking advantage of that with their aggressive comp was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it was absolutely impeccable. And I mean, there was some moments for the side of Guard on that defensive side where it looked like they were going to come back to life for but a moment. But then we went on over. They close out. Map number 3, it comes down to Haven. And like we've already talked about, 400 Thieves, they were on top of the calling game on the defense. And while things started to slip away a little bit on their attack, it just took that one round to close out, to finish the job and head their way to Istanbul. For 100 Thieves, I mean, just this whole run has been impeccable. I compared it to the run of FPX at Masters at the beginning of this, and it really does feel similar, right? They have a really tough run. They're playing every single day. They're up against great competition, and then they come into the grand finals with a disadvantage. I mean, it's pretty much the lower bracket curse again with the map ban advantages in these grand finals, and they win it out dominantly.
I mean, I hate to be that guy, right? Because it's happened so many times up until this point. But, you know, I think throughout this entire tournament for 100 Thieves, there's been one player that we cannot stop talking about. I'll let you guys make a guess. Who is that? Who's that player? Who's that player?
Probably Derek.
Probably.
Starts with a D, ends with a K, right?
Yes, yes. Derek OW, dare I say. I'll say bye to you guys for a sec because we have our Verizon post-match interview with who better than Derek joining us here, right now. Derek, my friend, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
How you feeling right now, buddy?
So much. Feeling great. It's a real experience actually qualifying for Champions.
Yeah, I mean, not only did you guys, you know, do it in a dominating fashion, but I think, you know, given how the boot camp went, you know, talking to Sean, kind of seeing, you know, the reactions online, it really feels like, you know, like this hard work. Is that like a relief that's just been lifted off of your shoulders, or do you feel like the hard work's only just beginning at this point?
Definitely is a sigh of relief. We've been away for months now, just boot camping all the time and getting better and better. And to actually make it like we said we would is just a dream come true. So.
Yeah, no, and I'm incredibly proud of you and so happy for you. Now, focusing on the guard here, you both had, we were talking about this on the desk at the beginning of the show. You guys were running in similar paths. The improvement was incredible. Very methodical approaches to the games, the coaches, the coaching staff rather. Everyone was just going that extra mile as you need to in order to compete on the world stage. But for you guys, it felt as if it felt like you were looking at the guard as if they were just a stopgap. Did you feel like you had them figured out since the first game? Because that's what it looked like to us. And I was just curious if you thought like, whoa, this is actually happening. We have the reads.
Yeah, I think today we were just playing super confident like we were against FaZe. And I mean, shout out to the coach behind us, that guy right there, and Mike. You can't see Mike, but they do a ton of prep work for us behind the scenes, and I mean they're the best. So
yeah. I mean, it shows in a gameplay. Now here's my problem, Derek. Okay, you are too clutch. You're clutch to the point where it's unfair. So I need to know what your morning regiment is like. What's your breakfast?
Cold showers.
Cold showers. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Food. What's the food option? What are we doing?
For matches, we do acai bowls over here.
Oh, dude, it's I always knew it was in the acai bowl. I always knew it, man. You know, you got to go healthy. If you ain't, you know, you don't want no grease in the morning. You want no bacon. You know what I mean? You just want some.
Gotta
fruits,
go light. Gotta go light.
Some oats. But you're going to Istanbul, and there's obviously going to be a lot of competition out there for you guys. But it's a big opportunity for you. Where do you feel like you guys stack? I know it's a bit premature to ask this question, but I'm curious to get your thought process. Where do you feel you stack against the likes of like FPX or Masters Champs, for example?
I think if we put our heads down and put in some work like we did, we're gonna go straight into practice. Few days break and we're going straight back into the server. So I think definitely do some damage as long as we keep up our form.
Yeah. Any particular region that you guys are looking forward to playing against, perhaps?
Oh, I just want to play everyone. I hope we don't have to play any teams, please.
Yeah, you don't want to play NA teams. No NA teams.
No.
You just want to.
Please, no.
I respect that, man. I respect it. Well, look, man, this is your moment. Any shout outs you want to give, you know, to the organization, to the fans? The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, so shout out to everyone that supported us, all the fans, family, friends. Thank you so much. It means the world to us. We've been grinding away from home for months, and I hope you're proud of us. So thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it.
I'm sure they are, my friend. I'm sure they are. Thank you so much, Derek, and I'm looking forward to getting to hang out with you. I missed you at the G4 studio, so now I get to hang out with you in Istanbul.
Yeah. I'll see you there.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, let's go ahead and bring back the analyst. That was your Verizon post-match interview with Derek, and acai bowls. That's the meta. Today I learned.
It's a good meta. It's a good tech. Who would have seen that one coming ahead of games? But, I mean, he's shouting out the family and the friends and of course, the organization for supporting them. But I just want to say, shout out 100 Thieves for giving us 4 new players headed to an international event, right? This is the NA talent that was untapped, that was kind of grinding things out on Tier 2 teams. Austin, obviously, he's been there for quite a while, but everyone else was given a great opportunity, given the support staff behind him that Derek was talking so highly of to make a successful roster. They have built something magical, and now they have that awesome international opportunity.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about it in the green room. I remember seeing Derek on Rise, right? And the kid was just disgusting, and you knew that he was going to be a star. So for him to play the way that he's playing here, and to put out or just the output rather that he's having, it's ridiculous to see a player perform at that level.
And like the whole team, like you said, they're all Valorant bred talent. Nothing that they did anything too crazy in other games. Like this is where they're making their story for the very first time, and we get to kind of see that, and we get to be a part of the journey of seeing them grow, and now seeing them at an international for the very first time. For one, I'm really excited to see Bang at an international.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be sick. Of course, they do not want to play any NA teams.
Write that down, write that down.
Although, if I'm being honest with you, in international events, it always seems like it's destined to happen that way. But let's go ahead, though. Check out our Aim Lab flick of the day for today. Lots of great plays, but you know what? We had to give one to our boy Saya Player, because Saya Player, despite the loss, I mean, it doesn't get any flickier than that.
Oh my god, that was dirty. I think it's 2 more. It's actually insane.
Yeah, he's actually perches up right on top, but it was really that first play, and then dies of fall damage, which, you know, feels bad, man.
Yeah,
but
still, he got his 3. What more could you ask for? Just giving 100 Thieves a chance in this round, really, by falling off top screen at the end there. Still, it was a really impressive performance for Saya.
Yeah.
A lot of the members of the Guard stepping up, but at the end of the day, it just shows 100 Thieves put in the prep. They were ready for Guard. They were playing at peak confidence, and it shows in the score lines.
Yeah, it really, like, Saya Player, you know, all the respect to the Guard, you know, and I know that they're gutted, right? Because you get to this point and then you lose 3-0 in the finals, Mel. That has to be heartbreaking. Why don't you give us the skinny from the player perspective? I know it's hard. I know I'm setting you up here, but
man,
that's a tough one, right?
I'm really trying to think and put myself in those shoes right now.
Have you lost in a grand finals before?
Maybe never in Game Changers, but thinking to how they feel right now, it's... I can't even really imagine. I know they've come so far, and like you guys have, you know, hit on before that. In LCQ, it doesn't matter if you just go out. Like, that's it. You could have gone out last. You could have gone out first round, and you get the same result as if you go out in the grand finals. But I still do think that Guard this year, I feel like they can look back and see the great things that they were able to accomplish. And I think overall, you could shine a positive light on this. Although we didn't see that insane 5-map final, we saw the good ideas that they have. We know, as viewers, we know how strong these players can be. We know how great they can be. It's only a matter of time, and I think it's really exciting to see what, you know, is in store for next year.
Yeah, sure. I think the future is bright for this team, even in loss, right? I think it goes to show that they lost. They had a really tough run at Iceland. They come into stage 2, they're looking pretty brutal. It feels like they don't have a wrap on how they want to play the game, but they come back to LCQ and they take a total 180, and they look not just back to their old form, but better. And that is big credit to them for being able to rally back. Not a lot of teams stick by their roster when they hit a period of hardship like that, but the Guard did. They stuck together and they got rewarded as a result. Sure, it's not Istanbul, but it's still a good result.
Yeah, for sure. But as you had said, you know, the day does belong to 100 Thieves, as they will be going to Istanbul, and they're actually going to be joining quite the list of teams as well. But we could see some of the reactions, though. Obviously, for the 100 Thieves organization, this is huge. I mentioned it before. They had just won, LA Thieves just won COD Champs. So congratulations to those guys. And then on top of that, too, they managed to get a 3-0 sweep, Mel, to go to Istanbul. Dominating performance, and they look so damn good doing it.
I mean, as an NA fan, we watched that, and I mean, you can't help but feel so hyped that we have such a strong NA team in that 3rd spot. Like I said, they beat the Guard, who was also looking good, but 100 Thieves took that and just stomped it, and we're really seeing 3 strong contenders here at International for our NA candidates.
Yeah, I think all 3 of these teams are fantastic. XSET had their opportunity International. Now they come back with that experience. I saw they're already flying out today for a boot camp in Istanbul. OpTic, they only took 3rd place last time, but they were looking for the crown at Champions. And for 100 Thieves, of course, it's the first international event for everyone except Asuna. I guess Sean went as an analyst once, and that's something completely different. But for the team, what matters is going there, having that opportunity to compete, play that international competition. We've heard from NA teams, from the Guard, from XSET, from these teams who have represented us internationally before, how much it improves your team when you get that opportunity to play against these different styles, play against the best from all these different regions. And I mean, you can see how much it means to them.
Yeah, I mean, the reactions here. Oh, is that confetti? Oh, goodness.
Oh,
okay,
they were
shooting. They were shooting the confetti, and then he had the phone right away. Santissimo, that is incredible. Oh, the production value. You love to see it. Awesome stuff. And of course, Stellar just making sure that the game is done. All right, but let's go ahead and see all the teams now, because I believe we were the last region to determine who's going to Istanbul. So this is it. In North America, you have OpTic Gaming, XSET, and the newly crowned 100 Thieves right out of the LCQ. In EMEA, you have Fnatic, FPX, and Team Liquid. In the Japanese region, you got Zeta, the Korean region, DRX, all teams that we saw in Copenhagen. Meanwhile, in Brazil, Loud will be back yet again. Then it's going to be Leviathan representing representing the Latin American region. And for South America, it's Crew and Furia. Then in APAC, Paper X is back, our runner-ups in Copenhagen. And then we have Xerxia, Boom, followed by Mimi's favorite team ever forged in the histories of Valorant, Edward Gaming. Mimi, you must be so excited. Who's Edward, by the way?
I'm trying to figure out who that guy is. Maybe we'll get to meet him and like figure it out. I don't know. We'll have to see once Istanbul starts.
Do you have the inside scoop? Who's
Do you know
Edward?
who Edward is?
Do you have the notes?
It's coming up blank.
Oh, it's coming up blank.
Unfortunate.
We don't know who Edward is.
It's tough. It's tough. We'll have to figure out who he is eventually. But so many great teams here. Obviously, every single Copenhagen team, except unfortunately Northeption, is making their way back to this event. We have some new squads. Boom Esports. This is their first time here. We have 100 Thieves. It's kind of technically their first time here. Liquid also has a new roster appearing. Zeta Division on the run back. They had such a kind of a disappointing run in Stage 2, not making it back to international events after hitting 4th place at Iceland. Now they get another chance at that. There's just so many cool stories here. Furia, back-to-back, qualifying through that LATAM last chance. It's going to be so awesome. Last time, just 12 teams at Copenhagen, now 16 in Istanbul.
Yeah, it's going to be
so exciting.
Pumped up. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Really, you just couldn't have asked for a better group of teams to go and represent this great game in Istanbul, in Turkey, in front of fans. It'll be wild stuff. Mel, though, I want to thank you so much. You did such a great job. Congratulations on this. How'd you feel? You had fun?
It was honestly so fun being up here, getting to see the screens, getting to see the whole wardrobe in the back. There's a bunch
Mimi's
of pros
bat's
down
still there, by the way. For some reason, she's still...
Can I hold on to it?
She wants the bat now.
I still have... You want it?
Oh my God, be careful
I'm
with
not
that.
gonna hit you.
I know, right?
Just knocked me out.
You
Take
want
it back, take it back. I don't want it anymore.
That thing's a
No more
weapon
that.
of mass destruction. Good golly. All right. Well, and Mimi, always a pleasure. I guess I'll be seeing you in a few weeks.
Hopefully.
Right, hopefully.
And same to you, Mel. It was very lovely to have you here with us.
It was awesome
a fun
to be
time.
here.
Excited to watch you in get Game Changer Stage 3 right after Copenhagen there. I imagine you guys will be playing for that shot at Berlin.
I mean, we'll be at Berlin, no questions asked, but that as well.
This is the reason why we love Mel, the confidence. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Mel, thank you so much for your time. Mimi, my right-hand homie, always a pleasure. To our incredible production crew, to everyone across all the different regions, we thank you so much for tuning in throughout all of VCT. No matter the region you tuned into, you were treated to some incredible matchups, but the fun does not stop there, because next stop is going to be Istanbul, Turkey, as we get ready for VALORANT Champions and we crown our next world champion. We'll see you then.
Breaking the rules, and to make everything work, I got the tools. Living on my own, just me and my team, 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 just me and my team.